warm welcome to all of you for the online embedded systems course, the evening course induction class. Today is 1st of July 2022. We are starting our batches, right? Today is, I think, the third batch we are starting for this month. We already started an offline class, the physical class, and then we started an online morning class also. And today we are kickstarting our online evening class, right? So this particular induction class will take a very detailed perspective about all the details about this course. For example, how the course is structured, how the course is going to get delivered, especially when you're learning embedded systems online, right? You'll have a lot of questions. For example, how am I going to use the hardware, and then how I'm going to get my doubts cleared, and also how the placement process works. And when we say the online course is same as offline course in terms of the course effectiveness as well as in terms of placements, how we are able to achieve that, what are the factors that makes it possible, right? We'll take to a very detailed perspective, right? And we'll make this session interactive. I have three segments of this presentation. So first segment, we'll talk about some of the high level updates about placements, some of the recent happenings with respect to placement, and review some amount of data, right? And second segment, we'll talk about the course, how the course is going to get delivered, etc. And third part, we'll again come back and understand about placements more from the process point of view, right? How the placement process works, some of the do's and don'ts and queries and things like that, right? So that will be the three phases of the presentation. And I'll stop by after each and every segment is done, right? And take your questions. My request to all of you is not to use the audio or video. Let us use it for our, what you call effective communication. In case if I feel that my video is getting slower, I'll also go ahead and turn it off, to ensure that the session remains focused. I request all of you to type in your questions in the chat window. Unlike the webinars when we attend, right? Here, all the question and answers will be visible to each other, right? That way, we'll be able to interact very closely. So I'll stop on these logically 2-3 intervals and take your questions. But at the same time, as I'm presenting, if you guys have any questions, right, you don't need to wait for me to ask the questions. You can keep typing, so I can pick it up on that interval and then I can answer, right? So my idea is to make the session as interactive as possible, because as you know, right, the slides remains pretty much same except few data updates that we do with respect to placements, right? So what I enjoy in every induction class is the interaction that happens among us, right? So every time there's a new set of question comes in, some kind of a curious questions, and sometimes what we see, right, some people will ask very interesting questions, which probably, even though I've done so many a number of induction classes, right, some will ask some questions which kind of amuses me, right? So feel free. There is no question is a wrong question. There is no question is a stupid question. Every question will be answered, taken its own merit, and will provide you with the answers, right? So that's a protocol and how we are going to drive this particular induction class. Okay, can I get one go ahead from all of you? Shall we go ahead and start the induction class? Quickly type in the chat window. Okay, all coming up. Okay, Sandesh, Shweta, Sai Bhavani, Namita. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, there are so many names. I think this batch size also quite big, right? Venkat, Nagasiva, Harikrishnan, Utsava. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. Right, let me put this into the slide mode and then get started. And let us do a brief introduction about all of us in this particular call today. To start with, I'll introduce Emertxe. As you all know, Emertxe is an edtech company. We started way back in the year 2003, before even the word edtech was not even coined, right? So, and then from the beginning, we have had two areas of focus. We focused on education and training programs, where we are offering job-oriented programs for entry-level engineers to make them employable. As you know, in India, there are lakhs of graduates who get passed out every year, right? But they lack employable skills, right? So we make them employable by giving them a hands-on practical trainings. But the problem doesn't start at entry level, right? People who are started working, right? They either they're doing a job which is not matching their aspirations. For example, somebody would have studied electronics, or they would have got a job in IT services, right? or they're doing, even though they're doing an embedded systems role itself or a core job itself, but their career is not growing, due to lack of skills and lack of opportunities. That's where, working professionals also take up our programs. Especially we see more participation coming in our evening classes, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., because that is more conducive for a working professional to take, right? And we offer programs for corporate organizations also, because as you know, companies have realized the skill level of their employees is a competitive differentiator in the today's market, because this industry is entirely driven by knowledge. So companies also keep coming to us for their what you call a corporate training assignments. We work with them from the entry level all the way up to very advanced level. That's what we have been doing over the years, right? So along with education, we also worked on some of the project or the product development activities in the beginning. We built some products in the areas like industrial automation, agriculture automation, right? Before even the words like Industry 4.2, Industry 4.0 or agri-tech, right? That's what we call in today's terminologies. We built some of them, and it also reached a good amount of growth, I would say. But later we realized, as an organization, it's not good to have two areas of focus, right? We want to focus in one area, and education has been close to our heart for a long period of time. And that's why we pivoted from our product development activities and completely started focusing on education training programs, right? And we are people, we have real-time work experience working with different companies. I'll just shortly talk about myself. Right, and then we have worked with the various product development activities, led teams, right? When I say product development activity, I myself involved in the entire product development, starting with concept level, then development level, testing, release, launch, post release support, and then sunsetting a particular version of software, again restarting a new set of software. And also we've seen the entire development of product, primarily driven by software, embedded software, right? And but we are really passionate about education. That's what makes us build this particular organization and drive it forward. And as you all might have heard, right, Emertxe is one of the accredited or affiliated institution with what you call Skill India. Skill India is one of the initiatives by Government of India, central government, driven from Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, right? So before the Mr. Narendra Modi's government took power, right, the skill building activities were happening in different umbrellas. But in 2014, they all got consolidated under a central ministry, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, which is having a cabinet minister as well, right? So under them, they brought the entire skill development under one umbrella called National Skill Development Corporation, or NSDC, who is chartered to drive skill development across different skills, which include software, electronics, sports, hospitality, because everything is a skill, right? And we come under, our training programs come under Electronics Sector Skill Council of India, or ESSCA, where our programs are certified at level 5, where students who are going through this particular program, all of you will get an opportunity to apply for certification with Skill India, and then you will get a level 5 certification, right? This is in addition to the certification what Emertxe will be providing, and having that level 5 certification, that from Government of India, will add definitely a good value to your profile. Added to that, that particular certification is internationally recognized, right? So that is some additional point about our affiliation with Skill India, right? So this is about brief about our organization. So let me talk brief about myself. As I said, my name is Jay Kumar. I born and brought up in Tamil Nadu, Erode, a town called Erode. I did my schooling there till my 12th standard or plus two. Then I moved to NIT Warangal, which was earlier called as REC, Regional Engineering College Warangal. It was part of Andhra Pradesh, but after the state became two separate states, it's now part of the state Telangana. I did my BTech in computer science there, 97-2001 batch. And after my BTech in computer science, I moved to Bangalore and started working in the typical embedded software development area. And during those days, networking was a big deal. So I, similar to what people today they say, right, IoT or robotics, machine learning, etc. So it was more the heydays of networking. So I ended up started my career in networking. In fact, my final year project was also based on networking. I started with my career with a startup called Ishoni Networks, where we were building broadband devices. Today, broadband has become a household name, where we are in the world of 4G and planning to migrate to 5G. But those days, it was more of a dial-up based internet, which was trying to migrate into a high-speed broadband internet, which started off as a DSL, right, digital subscriber loop, which we use it in our homes. Then suddenly it migrated to optical and things like that, right? So it was more of a the dial-up to broadband revolution time. I joined the industry, and I worked on various routing and networking protocols. Started off as a test engineer, and then developed some test automation framework, and worked on some of the feature development of the Ishoni's routing and switching products. I was there for about 2 years. Then I quit Ishoni and went into HP, Hewlett Packard. I was there for 7.5 years. Joined as a part of their printer firmware group, the Inkjet printer firmware group. So today I was taking a printout at home. My daughter wanted some printout, and I was just proudly telling her, right, the printer where you are running at home, it is having my code running in it, right? And I think that's a proud moment for any engineer, right? You have your code running in that particular product, right? So inkjet printers I was part of. Then subsequently, I grew there in HP from an entry-level engineer. I joined as one of the entry-level engineers. I was just having about 2 years experience then. Then I, became senior engineer, lead engineer, project program manager. I handled a lot of responsibilities, driven a lot of programs. In my last assignment with HP, we are driving a very ambitious project called HP ePrint, or a cloud print, where we connected the printer directly to the cloud. These days everything is common connected to the cloud, but that was initiative to drive or connect the printer to the cloud, which is still that feature is getting used, right? So I was there, as a project and program manager. I was leading a team of about 10 people then. Then I quit HP and went to Huawei. Huawei, many of you know, it's a Chinese telecommunication company, and I joined there as a senior or a group manager responsible for their embedded Linux portfolio. As you know, Linux is a widely used, operating system everywhere, including the cloud computing. But definitely, when it comes to embedded systems, Linux is very widely used. In fact, our entire course is centered around Linux. We'll talk about it as we move forward, due to many reasons, like, for example, being open source, being safe, being customizable, etc. So I joined there as a senior manager, where my team was involved in customizing Linux for various Huawei's products. As you know, Huawei has got a lot of products, starting from a small Wi-Fi dongle to all the way up to complex telecommunication routers and switches. So the Linux needs to be customized for various product lines of Huawei, right? That was my team doing, where some of the team members were involved in technology research, open source contributions. Then it moved on to mainline. Used to call it the R version, where we used to get development done, and then it used to move to the PRS, or post-release support, where bug fixing and maintenance used to be there, right? So I was there for about 3.5 years, and always the question comes, right? What next, right? So from my college days, I was really passionate about education, and also wanted to do something on my own as an entrepreneurial mode. That's when I quit, Huawei, and joined Emertxe. And Emertxe is more, started by my friend. His name is Mr. Maz, who started in the year 2003. Then, I had plans, and I transitioned from, my corporate life to entrepreneur life, right? It's been more than 8 years in Emertxe. I handled different responsibilities over the years. Started off in the technical. I used to be a mentor, taking classes, coaching students, supporting them in the labs, etc. Then I started handling placements, and then started driving some of the online initiatives that we do in the self-learning mode, etc. But today, as of today, we also grew. And then my portfolio is more today is about the placements and some of the responsibilities in the business side. And my colleague, Mr. Mubin, whom we work together in the HP, he heads a technical team, or a team of mentors. Some of you know we have more than 40 mentors, who are full time and going to work with you people. Majority of them as a part of your embedded systems course, right? And then ensure that you get placed, right? So placement is my prime portfolio, along with some responsibilities in the business side. So that's what I do. Okay. Hope you got an idea about Emertxe, as well as about me. In fact, I'll quickly take a check. In case you attended a webinar which we host, me and Mubin host, some slides mentioned in the induction class today might find repetitive. But in Emertxe philosophy, we always say don't assume anything, right? We assume that every learner in the class is starting from level 0, right? If you attended something, that's good. But even if you're not attended, it's very important that we take all of them together. That's a spirit in which we introduce our organization about and also about myself, right? Hope that's fine. So may I request all of you to go ahead and briefly introduce yourself. Just type 1 or 2 lines about yourself. Where are you from? and your education background and your year of pass out. And in case if you are a working professional, you can tell about your briefly about your work experience as well. Okay. Can I may I request all of you type a few lines about yourself in the chat window. Okay, we have Rakshit Shetty going first. Let me see what he has to say. Okay, Ramya, Anuresh. Name pretty much I'm able to see, guys, right? But you can tell me, yeah, we have Sridevi, Senior Process Associate, 2018 pass out. Okay, great. Uh, then we have Afroz, Varshan, Vasumati are typing about their name. Please go and type a few lines about yourself. Okay, Sachin Dash, 2018 pass out BTech. Okay, Kunal is a 2020 graduate. Then we have Manasa from Hassan, 2020. Okay, Arun 2020 pass out mechanical. Okay, then again Manasa, and then Port Blair Andaman, very good. Abhishek and Swati, born and brought up in Bangalore, 2020 pass out. Okay, this today seems to be 2020 batch. So then we have Naga Siva, Anuresh, they're all 2020 students, and we have Kuldeep from 2018. Venkat Subramanian, and then we have Sai Bhavani from Coimbatore. Good to know Sai Bhavani. Then we have Rakshit, 2020 mechatronics engineer working in Autoliv India Private Limited. I think they're one of the recruiters also, Rakshit. Then we have Chinnu. Chinnu is a 2022 batch. Great to know that because 2022 guys just finishing up their exams. So Tarun is a 2020 pass out from Bellore. Then you have Darshak from Gujarat, 2018. Then Pushpanjali, 2017, from Palo Telecommunication. Then Afroset is electronics, 2020 Bangalore, working in Infosys. Great. Then we have Abhishek, 2020 graduate, working in SME, Trivium Education Private Limited. Good to know, Abhishek. Then EC 2021 pass out says Nagasiva. Hemant says is a 2020 from Tumkur. Then Sandesh has completed electrical engineering in 2020. Live and studied in Nagpur. Okay, great to know. Then have Jivita Harikrishnan coming up, and then we have Utsava 2016, and then MTech in 2020 from Triple E. Then have Manu Shimoga pursuing final year undergraduation in EC. Great to know. Then you have Adiyamal 2016 batch embedded hardware engineer. Good to know. Okay, then we have Sunanda. She's a BTech in ceramic engineering. Wow, I haven't heard about that. Generally, I hear about material science or metallurgy. Then you have working as a junior manager in Maitan Group. Okay, good to know. Then you have Pratik from Gujarat, Sai Ram Tota, ECE 2020 passer from Bhadrachalam, Telangana. Wow. So Bhadrachalam, I think it is very famous for a temple, right? Purandar Dasa and all those very traditional place. I remember some of the points from my Warangal days. So Hari Krishnan is a 2019 pass out. Good to know. Then we have Janaki Raman working as a purchasing officer, 2021 pass out. And then we have Atish from Siliguri, West Bengal. Awesome. Okay, we have people coming from Far East. Then we have Vaibhavi Pilare, 2013 B, 2016 MTech, Bengaluru, Hardware Design Engineer Trainee. And Sweta from Hospet, 2020 batch. Then you have Ramya, she's a 2015 MTech pass out, good to know. Then Atish is a 2019 pass out. Sai Nitisha, she's a 2021 graduate. So as Jivita from, then Sharun Kumar, then Kiran is a content development associate at Byju's. Oh, okay, 2019. Then Vinay from Bangalore, 2020, working in Amazon, good to know. Then Varshan working as a trainee electronics embedded engineer in Jiva Sciences, 2019 pass out from Chennai. Then Vishwajit Shinde is a 2013 pass out in ENTC, working in Fuji Electric India, good to know. We have Rakshita is a 2020 from Bangalore. Swati is a Continental working as a data analyst. Kushal is a 2019 engineer working in HCL. Akila is working in Infosys. Then we have Irshan as an automation engineer, PhD SCADA, AutoCAD, hydraulic, pneumatic level 7, 2020 pass out. Janaki Raman, yeah, he said he's from Coimbatore, reckons a pass out, purchasing officer. Then Sharon is a 2019 easy pass out, previously was as a hardware engineer from Bangalore, right? Then Venkata Subramanian is from Madurai, good to know, again another temple place, 2020 pass out. Shreya is from Bangalore, working in Amazon. Then Abhishek 2018 passed out from GC Tirunelveli, good to know. Then Shama Makandar is again 2018 graduate. Vidya is a Davangere from Davangere 2021 pass out. Then we have Sumesh, Sixth Energy Technologies, completed B in 2013. Okay, I think they also hire our students, Sumesh, if I'm not wrong. And then we have Ramesh from Tumkur, working in infotainment clusters R&D division. Okay, great guys. Okay, thank you very much for your brief introduction. Okay. Generally, I go little bit of interaction during the discussion, but since it's quite a number of you are there, right? It will take even longer. Already I would say we lost about 5 to 6 minutes due to the audio glitch, right? We will definitely know more, right? But what I understand broadly is that majority of you are from a 2020, 19, 18 batch. Some of you are working, some of you are not working, and some of you are resuming after a career break because I'm seeing some of them are telling 2013 batch out, right? So I can broadly assume that you are not from 2022 pass out, except a few, right? Who are telling I'm just finishing the engineering, because I see that 2022, the fresher, whatever the latest batch is not out yet. It is because they still writing their final semester exam. If you look at Karnataka, what I hear, the VTU, right? They have exams going until this month end and July end. So only in August they will be looking out for a course, right? So still we are seeing older batch students are coming up, right? So let me tell you one upright point, which will be running in your mind, right? Is that I am from an older batch, right? So about my placements, right? Will they consider me as a what do you call older batch, And also when I'm seeing that 2022 passwords are going to come, how would be my candidature, right? How would I consider how would a company would consider my candidature? Would I be as a fresher, or should I tell about my era pass out? Or some of you may be coming after a career break, right? Especially I'm seeing a lot of girl students, they get married, they relocate, or some of you will be having some breaks due to, certain other reasons, or some of you might have spent a lot of time in taking your government exams, right? As I said, if you go detail, it will take quite a long discussion. So the point I'm trying to drive here is, right, whatever may be the background that you're coming from, right? First and foremost is we are not going to change that. If you're a 2019 pass out, you will remain as 2019. You're not going to change, year of pass out. Same with your academic record. Same with your time that you spent so far, whatever you've done. You're working, not working, taking a break, right? But what we are going to do now onwards is to take up a journey of skill building, right? And once you take up a journey of skill building, especially through our embedded systems program, what happens is the recruiting companies, all the recruiting companies look for the skill. They don't look for, for example, your year of pass out or your percentage. Some of them do, but the weightage that you are going to have for your skill development is way higher than your year of pass out. As I speak, we are placing students from 2012 batch, 2015 batch, right? Means 2015 pass out, 2012 pass out. I'm talking about last 2 days, right? And they're even getting into jobs like Honeywell, Borgs, getting like somewhere around 6 lakhs and above, right? And I know statistically we tell in all our webinars, in our induction classes, that even yesterday I had a monthly meeting with our existing students. I opened up certain sheets and showed the data points that in June, right, whatever the companies recruited, more than 40% of them are telling that you can be from any era pass out. You can be 2018, 2016, even 2022. They say they don't care. All they need is when they call you for an interview or written test, can you showcase their skill, right? So that 40% you can say, right? Any that way, let us say, for example, in June, 100 companies hired, 40 companies per month. Every time they come and tell, they're really not bothered about the year of pass out or percentage, right? So the point I wanted to drive to all of you that do not bother, or do not have this as a block in your mind, because I'm especially telling by looking into your year of pass out, because majority of you from an older batch, right? And this could be the prime worry in your mind. Some of them are working, they will be transitioning to embedded. That's still fine because they have a job. But good number of you, if you may not have a job, and also you're looking for a better job, one key concern could be that, how would my year of pass out would be considered, right? And also we tell in the interviews also be transparent. You don't need to hide this fact. Whatever it is, tell. But on top of it, add saying that, I built this particular skill and this is what it is, right? And so many people are able to achieve the skill transition and get into the this core job. So if I tell every time I tell in my induction class that if those many students can do, right, why can't you? And they all come from similar background, similar type of experience, similar type of a college. They can do, why can't you do? right? If you do maybe 3 months down the line or 6 months down the line, I'll tell to the other batch students in future, they'll tell you if they can do, why can't you do? That way we motivate each other, we push each other and achieve our goals, right? Okay. Hope you are able to make sense of what I'm telling so far. Can I get some quick responses? Since majority of you from 2019-18, I thought I should send this message up front so that you guys feel comfortable in attending the session, right? So this could be your number one question in majority of your people's mind, right? Okay, I'm seeing, right? Abhishek, Manu, Amit. Amit is telling voice is not clear. I don't know why. I think it seems to be fine now from my side. Shama, HP, I don't know HP's name, I forgot. Okay, all right. Okay, great. Thanks for the acknowledgement, guys, right? Let us move on. Okay. So let us get into, as I said, some of the updates about the job market, some trends, what is happening, right? We are seeing tremendous momentum in the job market. Okay. Companies have struggled to hire skilled engineers, right? The quantity in India has never been a problem. I'm hearing, let us say, about 18 lakhs engineers are graduating every year as of now, okay, in 2022, and the number will reach anywhere around 28 lakhs, I know, by 2024. That was the projection I'm hearing, right? So even though there is a huge supply is coming in form of engineers, right, there is still a challenge of skilling, right? Demand is also very high. Okay, but the problem is skill is the major gap. That's why the word called companies are struggling to hire skilled engineers. They cannot hire anyone and everyone and make them to do a job, especially a job like embedded systems, right, which involves relatively more sophisticated skill, right? So it's been really good, especially 2022. I'll show some data points, right? If you look at the MNCs, right, the big logos, what you see in our placement portfolio or whatever you hear, be it Honeywell, Robert Bosch, Qualcomm, NXP, right? And then recently we had Infineon, Celsius Communications, and tons of automotive companies like Continental, Veoneer, Vitesco, right? And then a lot of mid-sized and startup companies, right? They're all hiring, especially the bigger companies who have been hiring from tier one engineering colleges. Typically, what they do, they go to this IITs or NITs, or if you take a specific particular state or a place, right, they'll have very shortlisted, pre-decided engineering colleges, right? So there they go and recruit students and they'll stop there, right? But now what is happening due to the demand that is happening in the embedded system market, due to many reasons, right? Well, I'll talk about it in my subsequent slides, right? They're exploring that they need to go beyond that. For them, an institution like us, works perfectly well because, we are providing continuous supply of manpower for them because every month we start 3 batches. And not only about the quantity of students, it is the quality and the skill, right? That way, it's more of a win-win situation for the organization and to us, right? So that way they are exploring different models, right? And you might have heard some of the other trends like semiconductor crisis, which has happened during the pandemic, where the manufacturing organizations could not produce the required set of chipsets, right? And also the demographic challenges that we are facing in places like Ukraine and China, right? Before pandemic, the Wuhan story, right? And also today, what is happening between Russia and Ukraine, right? They're all turning out to be more positive for a country like India. Okay, so that way, there is a lot of jobs moving into India. There are a lot of opportunities coming up. But only challenge, as I said in the beginning, companies are struggling to hire, right? And the electric vehicle phenomena is really taking a mainstream, as you all know. Even though there are challenges about the two-wheelers catching fire or not enough battery filling stations available, etc., etc. But it is for sure that it is going to be the future of especially two-wheelers, right? Where a country like India has got opportunity to not only produce but also lead the world in terms of EV, right? If you look at the traditional companies, be it Bajaj, be it TVS Motors, or be it Mahindra, they're all creating their electric vehicle organizations. For example, Mahindra Electric has become a regular recruiter now. I think yesterday, day before yesterday, I saw some good number of students getting placed there, right? And also we have new age electrical first companies. For example, Ola Electric and Ether Energy, and then many similar companies are coming up, right? And a company like Ola Electric, continue to hire our students, right? They're one of our recruiters, right? So what are we trying to conclude here, right? The conclusion is more jobs are chasing lesser number of skilled engineers. The word is skilled. Okay, that's underlying. That should be your only focus. Because in the beginning I said where not to focus. You should not focus on your era pass out or percentage. Whereas where should be your focus? Your focus should be only on skilling, right? So that you can, take benefit of these trends, and then, transitioning yourself into this industry, right? Or, get a job in this industry. That's a high level thing, right? So how it is translating to Emertxe, these trends, right? Let me share a few points, right? As you know now, today, July 1st, whether we like it or not, 2022, half of the year is already gone. Now, I think time is running very, very fast these days. Half of the year is gone. We call it as a H1, right? First off, closed very well in terms of placements. I'll show some statistics now. We're able to consistently maintain a run rate of 100 plus companies hiring every month, right? And continuously we are getting requests from companies, right? For example, any company, when they say that they have n number of openings, they're not able to fulfill their openings through our students. For example, recently, Qualcomm came and said, they want to hire about 8 people, right? But they could only hire one person in the last month, right? And again, if you look at last 2 3 days back, some batches are ready for placement, so we are sending them. Okay. So, I'm just telling a recent example of Qualcomm, right? Like that, every organization that they go, the number of openings they have, but they're not able to fulfill. But again, the challenge is not to fulfill with anyone and everyone. In India, it's okay, come for a job, 1,000 people will come. That's not idea, right? Filling that with the right skilled person is the big challenge. So we get continuous requests from companies, be it big companies, mid-sized companies, startups, right? So that way the job market is doing really well. And some of the factors, as I mentioned, which is favorable for India, one is the geopolitical advantage, which I mentioned, and the COVID, right, which has accelerated what we call the digital transformation. If you know, right, everywhere automation and digital transformation is the buzzword today, right? So everywhere there's a digitization that is happening, be it a industry, be it a car, or be it a medical, education, power management. Everything is getting digitized. So that is driving a lot of jobs. And economically, people are spending more because 2 years we were all locked almost, right? We could not spend even, somebody had money. They're all coming and, openly start spending. So these are all the factors, driving more jobs, right? And with respect to Emertxe, right, more than 80% of the companies are repeat companies, right? As I mentioned initially itself, right? They are not able to, sorry, they're not able to fulfill their needs, through our students, right? They feel that once they come, they're not able to fulfill. So what happens is they come and again, right? So that's what happening. More than 80% of them are repeat ones. And more MNCs are getting folded into this story. For example, HP Inc., where in the same division where I worked, right, 4 years before, 5 years before, I cannot imagine them coming and recruiting from Emertxe. Right? They'll say, "Oh, we already have a list of campuses." In fact, I was in touch with a lot of my seniors. We continue to stay in touch with a lot of seniors. But they say, "No, no, Jaikumar, you know what? We already have a list of campuses. We cannot look beyond that. There is an approval process, these, that, and all." Right now, I would say that glass ceiling is already broken. We are seeing, success stories. I think about 4 5 students already got selected in company like HP, right? Which was not, true, even if you look at, pre-pandemic or few months back, right? And a lot of mid-sized and startups coming along the way. Right? In India, as you know, especially Bangalore has become the startup capital for India and one of the most sought after destination for startups. Right? Okay. So that way, a lot of startups are coming up, especially whenever you talk about electric vehicles, IoT, robotics. A lot of companies are coming up. And even if you look at electric vehicle as a system, right? It's not only about our vehicles, right? It's also about the charging stations, right? So there are a lot of companies who are setting up the charging stations, who are setting up the manageability solutions for those vehicles, right, where they can monitor the vehicles, etc. Right? So a lot of such startups are coming up, and definitely mid-sized companies has always been our strength. Company like 100 people, 200 people are continuing to hire, right? So across all the size of companies, across all the subdomains in embedded, be it medical, automotive, electronic, consumer electronics, EV, right? Everywhere it's happening, right? So that way, it's really good to be in the job market now, right? So this is a number which we want to share in terms of the number of companies which has visited. What started off in January with 117, we're able to consistently maintain that 100 plus. In fact, in June, we had 116 companies are visited our placements, right? And when I say 116 companies, right, they come and say, they have requirement and we float the application, right? And the students have applied. and we share the list with the companies, and then they call them for drives, right? So what is mathematically happening? Let us say 20 or 21 days, right? And then 116 companies are coming. We cannot schedule 4 to 5 companies a day. It becomes quite hard for us to schedule. So that way, a good number of the companies move to the next month. Okay, that's where the what you call the cumulative drives happen. So this is the graph which talks about number of drives happened every month. Now you can see the green color towers there. That's the statistics for 2022, right? And you can see compare with the red or blue, right? Red, at least I can say, especially in the 2020, 2022 second half, right? You can see, right, at least in the October timeline, we can see lot many companies coming, right? At least it is started going around 50 numbers hovering around that, right? But if you compare with the 2021 numbers, look at, for example, July itself, right? So June, right? June, which just ended. We had 7 companies coming and recruiting in the year 2020. Why? Because if you look at April, May, June, that's when the first wave of pandemic came and the remote working, was happening, and companies did not had any clue about how to go about, right? But if you look at 2021, pretty much, the first wave was settled down. Even second wave was, largely under control by then, right? And then you can see, right now it is jumping up to 61, right? You can see the kind of growth, in terms of the opportunities that where people are getting, right? So since these many opportunities are there, right? That's why they come and tell, they really, and they really have openings to fill. It is not that they just come and go, right? Every company puts a serious effort in terms of hiring people, right? And they're not able to fulfill. That's why they come and hire again and again, and also they're open to waive off the era password, or they're willing to consider people who are from the older batch also. So all they're telling is, as long as you have the right skill, you are welcome. Okay, but skill is the passport, or skill is the trump card, whatever you can call, with which we are playing, right? So I recommend all of you to join this bandwagon, right? Skill yourself very well, so that you can be part of the so many success stories we are telling, right? And we are seeing success story in all permutation combinations, right? For example, somebody is a online student, somebody is an offline student. By the way, one more point I forgot to tell. Out of all these companies which are recruiting, right, I would say more than 95 percentage of them are recruiting in the online mode, which means to say that the written test, or the interview, everything is happening in the online mode. Let me just use my mouse little. Yeah, 95 percentage of them are hiring using the online mode. Okay, which means to say that you can be anywhere in India, right? That's when I asked your location, where are you joining from, right? We have people joining all the way from West Bengal, people joining from, what do you call, Gujarat. I'm seeing people down south, people joining from all the way up from Andaman, right? So you have people coming from all over the place. You don't need to worry, right? You can attend the entire process, by sitting at your home. Only few companies, I won't even say 5%, even less than 5%, maybe 2%, 3% of them are calling for the physical interviews. That too are for the final round. Okay, so that way you can very well be at your home, take up this course, and by joining online, you also have a major advantage in terms of cost. Okay, we tell students that earlier we used to be worried, right? What about online and all? Now we can confidently say taking online class is this course online mode is one of the most smarter decision to make, because people in Bangalore can understand, because we have good number of Bangaloreans in today's class as well, right? If somebody from outside Bangalore come stay in Bangalore and taking this particular class in the offline mode works out to be expensive, because the living expenses in Bangalore is quite high, the rentals are high, right? Everything is high in Bangalore. I'm sure all the Bangaloreans would agree to me, right? I've been staying here for more than 20 years now, right? So you can stay at your comfort of your house, right? And even if our course fees is also relatively more, attractive for online course, but you are not going to miss out anything on the learning side nor on the placement side. Okay, that's the thing. But having said that, with respect to joining, right, now that hopefully we are out of the woods with respect to COVID, right? Almost things have come down, and even the cases are increasing. It's on a milder side, right? And we're all vaccinated, right? So, but for joining, companies are most of the companies are asking you to come and join from their location site, and there are also more than 95 or 90% companies are based out of Bangalore. They ask you to come and join and work from Bangalore. And working wise also, we see, right, companies are doing a hybrid model, something like 2 days from office or 3 days from office and all. But you have to come to, for joining, you need to come to Bangalore, right? Gone are the days where they're completely giving work from home options, right? Companies have very much resumed their operations. But yeah, they're still cautious. They don't want to completely load their manpower, everybody coming to the office. Right? They're kind of doing, what you call hybrid mode. So that's the thing. Okay, that way you've taken the right decision of joining the online course to skill yourself, and you saw the opportunities that are available in this particular, space in terms of the companies, in terms of the opportunities overall, the larger trend. Everything seems to be very much favorable for all of you, right? Okay. So with that note, I would like to pause here. Okay, I will ask two questions once again, and then we'll get, I'll take any questions you may have. Right, two questions to you. Question number one, as I said, me and my colleague Mubin host this course demo webinars, right, where we cover, some of the details about the similar data, right? We cover little briefly. We'll go a little bit deeper in today's, session, right? So we cover those aspects. So just let me know in the chat window whether you attended the webinar or not, right? Just say yes or no, so that I'll get to know how many of you are there today in the class who attended the webinar. Okay, okay. Few of them are no. Okay, Irshan is telling three times. Okay, okay, okay. I'm seeing. Okay, no, no, no. Okay, I'm seem to be a good mixture here. Rakshit is telling yes. Okay, okay. Some of them are telling no. Sai Bhavan is telling yes. Pavan is telling yes. All right. Okay. And even if you attended the recent one, which I think we posted last week, right? If you go and check the data that I shared, right? Compared to that, you can see that there is a change in the number of drives and number of applications, the number of visits from the companies, right? Because every day it changes, right? Otherwise, I tell in a lighter note, right? If I were telling any and incorrect data, right? All the course demo webinars, the videos are also in YouTube, right? You guys will take compare the video and see hey, this data is incorrect, right? So that's why I'm telling, right? So you can see time to time somebody's attended three times, right? First time, second time to third time, you see that the placement data is only increasing, right? Or it's only looking much more positive, right? Thank you for folks whomever attended already. Some of the sections, if you find it repetitive, as I said, our spirit in Emertxe is always to ensure that start from level zero, because we have good number of them who are not attended also. They should also feel connected with the class. Point number one. Okay. Second question to all of you: how did you come to know about Emertxe? Did you come to know, your friend told, I searched online, or I attended the webinar and came to know, or or what do you call, I saw YouTube, whatever it could be, right? How did you come to know about Emertxe? Okay, online, one of the Tata Elxsi employee online. Okay, college mate, friend online, online. Okay, searched in online. Okay, friend, cousin from Quora. Okay, friend online, Fred. Okay, okay, online. Great, online. Largely, it's coming from suggested by brother. Okay, suggested by and then Borg from Borg's employee. Okay, good to know. By the way, Borg's has been our regular recruiter. Good to know. Okay, so thank you very much for all of you for sharing. And especially if you're referred by somebody, right, our ex-student or somewhere, somebody, brother or somebody, right, it is an additional matter of proud for us, because they got some benefit and they want you also to get that benefit and be successful in that way. Okay, Manu is telling watching 2 years in Instagram. Okay, wow, great, good to know that. Suggested by friend who has taken already the course from here. Great, okay, friend. Okay, good to know that, guys. Okay, so thank you very much. Okay, so now that we finished the first segment of the presentation, right, where we saw about the job market trends, and then how the job market is translating into the opportunities in students in Emertxe, and then how it is resulting in number of drives, right? And then success stories are everywhere. If I start the success story, then in webinars we run through, it takes quite a lot of time. Okay, so I would like to pause here and then take any questions that you have. And in case if you don't have any questions, just type no questions. Okay. Okay, let us hear. Okay, actually, I heard about Emertxe 1 year ago. All right, yeah, good to know, Pawan. Okay, any questions? Please feel free to type. Or if you don't have any questions, you can type no questions, so that I come to know that. Okay, Kushal is telling no questions. Okay, no questions, says Afros, no questions. Okay, if you have questions, please feel to type. Okay. Wow, majority of you telling no questions. Okay. Okay, looks like no questions. Okay, all right. Let us see some questions coming up now. Okay. So Sandesh is telling, sir, after getting placed, right? If another company came, I want to go with that. Can I appear in that company, right? Again, this is a very typical question. And then similarly, okay, I think some questions are coming. Let us answer one by one. There's a question from Sandesh. Let me take that as a first question, right? She's asking, sir, what about, can I got a placement, I got a company, right? Can I get another company, right? The answer is no. Okay. So what happens in Emergee, right? You can apply for as many companies I want, right? No problem in terms of you're applying to companies, right? As you saw, so many companies are coming up, and in the later section, I'll also show the Google group where we see the entire data of how the placement application is process is going to work, right? So every day, three, four, five, sometimes even you get seven, eight, right? The applications are coming. You can apply. And even if you're applying for those companies, you can also go through the selection process of the companies, no problem. Let us say, for example, you are attending a company with company A, B, and C, right? You can attend the written test with company A, you can be attending interview with company B, and then you can even go till HR round until company C, right? You can attend as many companies possible. But what we have in our placement policy is that the first offer that comes through, you need to take that offer and then join that company. Okay. For example, there are three companies. Company A is offering 4 lakhs, company B is offering 5 lakhs, company C is offering 6 lakhs. Let us say company B, you got an offer with 5 lakhs, whereas company C, you are attended till HR round. You cannot say, sir, wait, I'll go and see whether I can explore the 6 lakhs company or not, right? That is not allowed. Okay. Whatever the first company you tell, you need to join. Let me tell you the reason behind why we do this. Right? There are two reasons. Right? I think in the webinar I would explain. In case this answer looks repetitive for some of you, please have your patience because it's important to clarify. Right? We promise certain things to you guys. Right? When you inquired for our course, our team would have told you that you can attend for placements up to 2 years from the time of course completion. Like that, we promise certain things, right, to you people. Similarly, we promise certain things to the recruiting companies. What is the one promise that we tell to this company, saying that if you make an offer to an Emergee student, they will join. We don't allow offer rejections. We say 100% joining rate. Okay, 100% is the joining rate. Okay. So what happens is, suppose if we allow somebody, for example, this question is coming from Sandesh. So Sandesh, let us say, is very good. Let us say he is having three offers, right? Of course, he cannot join all the three companies. He will join only one company, right? Which means that he will reject offer from two companies, which is not okay. This is point number one. What is point number two? From a student point of view, what we want from Emergee is that we want all the students to go with one job. I know, let us say, for example, three people in the chat today, right? Let us say Sandesh is there, then I have Darshak, then I have Kuldeep, right? Three people. I want all of them to go with one job. I don't want a scenario where, for example, only Sandesh is going with three jobs and other two guys are not having job. We don't want that. So what happens once you block you with one job offer? What happens? The company will consider next student from the list. We are, by the way, we are very transparent with the companies also. We tell, look at this Sandesh guy. He got a job from our other client, so we are blocking them. Okay, they're also very much familiar with our system and they trust us. When I say, right, more than 80% of the companies are repeat recruiters. This is one prime reason where we ensure that 100% joining rate. Okay, so that's the reason why you cannot get multiple job offers. You can get multiple opportunities. You can attend multiple interviews. But then you can say, sir, who will tell the company C and A that I am no longer available? Our placement team will take care. You don't need to worry. Okay. You first get the offer, whatever first offer, you need to go. Is it clear, Sandesh? Just confirm, if it is okay. And there's a next question that comes, which is a typical again from a working professional, Kuldeep, right? He's asking, so how do the notice period affect the placements, right? Okay. So first of all, let me tell you, notice period doesn't affect placements. It has got no impact in placements, right? But what we tell with respect to people who are working, is that especially when you're attending the later rounds, you are clearing first round, second round, that, process going well. I tell people that, students who are especially working professionals who have a notice period, just leave a note to our placement team. We'll tell you contact details about our placement team. Just leave a message, email saying that, his name is Lokesh. Lokesh, you can send a message saying that, sir, I am, working professional. I have a 2-month notice period. Just let us know. Okay. That should be enough, right? And by the way, companies are aware, the recruiting companies are aware that, some of our students, or good number of our students are working professional like Kuldeep or many of you. Okay. And we have been transparent about that also. Okay. So when you go and tell that you have a 2 months notice period, 1 month notice period, what we do as a placement department is that we'll try to help you, we try to work it out. So what we tell to the candidate like you is that we will tell them that, can you go to an employer and try to negotiate your notice period? Try to get an early or transition or faster to your fellow colleagues so that you relieved properly. Fine. Okay. Same thing we discussed with the companies, and by far we did not had any problem with notice period. Okay. And they also understand those companies. Oh, he's a working professional. Okay, all right, no problem. We are ready to wait, because they know that even if they wait for 1 month, you are going to join, right? Because we commit 100% joining, right? So that way, our placement team will help you in that particular process, where smoothly we'll be able to handle the notice period. And as a strong recommendation, we tell people, especially for working people, please ensure you properly serve your notice period, okay, and get your relieving letter and come. This again helps in 2 ways. One, I tell, in terms of your paper, your experience will look good. Second thing I will always tell, which is more important according to me and all of us in Emertxe, is please do not burn the bridges when you quit the company. You may be dissatisfied with your employer, you may be dissatisfied with your manager, you may be dissatisfied with your work. That's fine, but do not, leave it on a very bad note. I tell people, right, I mean, personally speaking, right, I still cherish very good relationship with all my managers whom I reported in my career. Today I can pick up the phone and then I can call them, right? Why? Because whenever I left an organization, I left on a good note. The work is being handed out to a fellow colleague, right? And I did not show any negative behavior during my notice period, because notice period means it becomes a muscle power for the employer, right? Oh, na main kaam nahi karunga, right? Don't do all those things. Get relieved properly, and our placement team will support you. Okay, so absolutely no problem. We can comfortably handle the notice period. This question could be in many of you in the working professional people. Hope that's clear. Okay, Kuldeep, hope that's clarify your question, right? Um, then again, same question coming from Abhishek. If anyone gets selected in one company, then whether he or she can apply for other assistance which is provided for 2 years if you get a good opportunity. No, I think that answer is very clear. Already that is clarified, right? Okay. Then there's a question from Irshan coming, sir, in LinkedIn post, there are 95% of student is placed are from South. I don't know, Irshan, why you are forming such interpretation. Request you not to have such a biased opinion about North or South. We are not here to, form any opinions, form any bias about Northeast, Western, South of people. Okay, definitely not the case. Okay, we have good number of people coming from all over India and getting placed, right? Okay, to be very honest, we also don't have a statistics about how many percentage of them from North, how many percentage are from South, right? I just ask you guys your location just to see to it that we are, we are represented well across all the parts of India. That's all, right? So that is not at all correct. So please wipe out this opinion from your mind. That is not correct. Okay. What they carry is, as long as you have the skills, they're ready to hire you, right? Then we have a question from Varshan Vasumati. Sir, if I suppose I can't able to attend the classes, whether practical or theory, is this a recorded video? Yes. Okay. I think we clarify that in the webinar, right? All the classes, as I said, including today's induction class, is getting recorded. As you saw, right? I press the recording button, right? Like that, every class will be getting recorded, and those recorded videos will be given to you typically on the next day, okay, or a day after, right? Okay, so that, and this will be uploaded into something called as LMS, right? I think in the demo we show, but in the interest of others who not attended the demo, we have something called LMS. It's called as a learning management system. Okay, let me quickly show you guys the URL. Later you can go through that also when you have time. If I show you. So this is a URL. If you go to moodle.emertxegroup.com, no worries, our team will take care of the login, right? You can see here, this is the URL where you will be given a username and password. If you log into this portal, the entire content will be available. Not only the recorded videos, the required slideware, all this assignment code, the online test, your evaluation and grades, right? And any placement preparation material, right? Any other things will be available. This induction link, what I do is like, I share it via YouTube because it may take some time for you to create this Moodle or the LMS login, right? But once you are set in the system, our team will create and share you the link. And once you log in, you'll be able to see the entire material in case you miss. Even though we don't recommend, but yeah, sometime network issue could be there. And you saw in today's beginning, right? There's an audio issue, right? There'll be some, technical glitch will be there because of which you could not attend the session. Or, for example, you would attend the session, but you want to do a revision, right? You attended, but 2 hours completely focusing on the class also sometimes difficult, right? You might, by the time you note down and, it might have jumped out of your mind. That's also quite normal. So that way, before you resume to the next class, you can revise those videos, or even, okay, even today, even, what I'm saying is, even when you are want to refer, or even before you attending interview, right? You want to refresh something before you go, you can use those videos, right? All the sessions will recorded. All of the sessions will be made available to you via this particular Moodle or your LMS portal. Hope that's clear. Varshan, Sumati. I think Sandesh is telling yes. Then Rakshit is asking, are these companies are considering current CTC of the working professionals? No, they don't consider, because these companies have their salary package, right? So their salary standards. But what I'm seeing is that if you are some of the companies, some of the companies do consider the previous experience and try to fit you in the higher experience also. Again, this question will be coming from working professional. Maybe it is there down. It will come from one of you that how would my previous experience will be considered, right? Similarly, we are talking about the previous salary, how it will be considered. You will have a previously how my previous experience will be considered. Let's say somebody say, for example, somebody said working in Infosys, right? You have 3 years or 2 years work experience in, let us say, some Java application development, how that will be considered, right? That purely depends on the recruiting company, point number one. Similarly, the salary also, what they will do is, some companies will say, okay, fine, you have 3 years experience in Java, right? What they will do, okay, fine, I'll try to consider as a 1 year experience in Embed, and they'll try to give you a higher salary and a higher grade, right? But do not think that, your previous ETC will act as a negative, right? Suppose your previous salary is less, right? The company will give even lesser salary. That is not the case, right? Your previous experience and your salary will only act as a positive. It will not affect you anywhere negative. Okay. Hope that's clear. Rakshit. Okay. Then I have Ramya. Ramya Prasad is asking, sir, I have a question. Sir, I passed out in the year 2015, but I didn't have industrial experience, but I have only teaching experience of 2 years. That is also absolutely fine, Ramya, because we have recently students, mm, who have been in teaching field, they're able to transition into the corporate career. I will be surprised if we say the previous online batch we started, the morning batch. I think we started on Wednesday. Wednesday we started, day before yesterday, correct? Okay. In that batch, I could see some 7 to 8 assistant professors are there. They're still teaching. They're taking that course, right? So we have good number of people who are from the teaching background. Okay, they are able to get into this particular embedded field. Okay, and they are able to transition. So that's what I'm telling you, right? If your previous experience, sometimes the company will consider, sometimes they don't, right? But in terms of you getting selected, there is no issue. They don't look for that background. They don't consider that experience. They don't bother about that experience. I would say that like that. Okay. Irshan is telling, thank you, sir. Welcome. Then Abhishek is asking, if a student possesses the required skill for a high-paying company, how can she get placed in that and not in a low-paying one? Okay, Abhishek is telling, right? So it is your choice, Abhishek, right? For example, when these companies are coming, there is no force on the student to apply to a company or not to apply to a company. Suppose you are very curious, saying that, sir, somehow I have my benchmark, saying that, I want to apply for a company which is offering minimum 5 lakh CTC. Okay. That is your expectation for the example. Don't apply for any company which is coming less than 5. It is absolutely your choice. Neither me or not from a mentor, neither a placement department will come and force you to apply. So that way, while applying itself, we can choose for a company which is offering a higher salary. And so that, you can completely avoid that particular thing. Okay, that is point number one. Point number two, what I always tell in my, webinars or in my open webinars, we run induction class, and even in our monthly meeting, is that there's a saying in English, all of you know, do not judge a book by its cover. Okay? So what I tell people, similarly, do not judge a company by its CTC. That's not at all correct. Okay? If a company, you see it, and by the way, in our placement application, I'll show you, we share the entire information about the company, what the company is working on, what the technology is, something like that, right? Since you're looking at a entry level job or you're looking at a career transition, see to it that you do a good work. You're getting a very good learning opportunity. You're getting good mentoring from your seniors, and you're working in a good technology company, right? And handling good responsibility. If these things are taken care, naturally salary will follow you. Believe me that. Okay, I've seen empty number of success stories, including mine, right? And I've seen students who, at least now you guys are okay, because if you look at 2014-15, okay, when I see some of the companies, they used to offer even relatively lesser salaries. For example, a company offering, let us say, 2.4 lakh salary was a very common thing, and people used to, feel okay to go and join. Okay, and from 2.4 lakhs, they are able to jump to salary levels. Like for example, when they work for 3 years and make a jump, right? They were able to get anywhere around 20 lakh salary. Okay, so but what they have done in the 3 years, they really learned well. My request to all of you is that, okay, do not have two goals. Have only one goal of getting into a core company or achieving your career transition, right? Or getting into your first job or getting into a career break after. Many of you are telling, right? I'm an older year pass out. Have that. In that process, you are getting a higher salary. That's great. But do not only restrict yourself to high paying company, because that's a wrong way to judge a company. And once you start performing well, who knows, right? They may, any company wanted to pay well and retain their high performing, right? The employees, right? Why not, right? So my recommendation to all of you, do not judge a company by its salary. Oh, that's another recommendation. But hope my question, I answered your question, Abhishek. Okay. Um, then there is a question from Sachin Kumar Dash. Sir, how will the communication skill affect on getting a placement? This is another interesting question, right? So what about communication skills, right? Okay. I cannot speak good English, for that matter. I'm not fluent in English, or I studied in, let us say, some regional medium, or I never got an opportunity to speak English with many people, right? Believe me, most of our students come from that background. Okay, unless otherwise you are from a city base like Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, where you got an opportunity to speak in English, right? Okay. If somebody is coming from a town or a middle-sized place, right? They will have the similar questions, right? So in Emertxe, what we tell is that your communication is nothing but your confidence. Let me repeat. We say communication is nothing but your confidence, right? Often you see, right, in order to improve the communication skills, people take the route of going and taking a spoken English class, right? And what happens, right, in college and all, they run this placement training or whatever, right, where you somebody will come and take a 2 days of spoken English class, right? So that does not give you any results. Whereas in Emertxe, we say your communication is not good because you cannot. It is not because you cannot speak English, right? It is because you're not confident to speak. And what we tell people is that you focus on technical skills, right? Build on your assignments, build on your projects. Then your communication skills will, naturally improve, because when you're confident, you'll naturally speak. And that much English, believe me, all of you know. That much English, all of your engineers who are qualified engineers, all of you will know. Okay. And I've seen cases where people come with stammering problem. Stammering, all of you know, right? It is not a medical problem. By eating a tablet, you cannot cure that. It is the scare, mind is so scared that, people started, having that problem. I said people came with stammering problem. They can't even speak a word of English when they come. They come, go out with flying colors because they really worked on it, right? Focus on your skill building, your confidence will improve. And once your confidence will improve, as long as you're able to explain it in a very simple English. And I tell people also this, right? You're not going to apply for a journalist job like Rajdeep Sardesai, or, NDTV's Pranay Rai, or any Arnab Goswami, anywhere, right? And especially, as you know, yesterday, some a lot of change happening in the political landscape, right? Every journalist is hyper, right? They're all getting so many news to chew, right? In political landscape, you are not going to do that job. You are going to do a technical job, right? So in order to do that particular technical job, definitely you all have much more communication skills. All you need to do is just go and express yourself, right? That's it. So do not need to get concerned about this at all, Sachin Kumar Dash. Okay, just be regular, attend the classes, build your skills. Their communication skill will be taken care. And I'm pretty sure 6 months later you'll tell me that you cracked the job, right? All right. Hope that's clear. Sachin, let me move on. Is there any cutoff percentage to attend the drives, right? Okay, that's an interesting question. If you see later in the slides, it will come, right? We do have in placement policy that we conduct something called placement eligibility test, and then you should have completed some percentage of assignment and projects, right? But in practical, we are not strictly following that. We said, fine, you finish the C programming, you start attending the placements, right? That's what we tell. Okay, but some of the students are taken for granted. They're not attending the classes. So our technical team is planning to bring back those tests again. We not officially implemented it, but that is in discussion. Okay, point number one. Point number two, your performance in Emertxe will play a significant role in shortlisting, because people always ask me this question: so how do I crack a premium job, right? Okay, especially in premium companies, what happens is, suppose like 200 students apply, they say, I can't call 200 people for written tests. Send me only 20 people, top 20 people. So there, your performance, when I say your assignments, your projects, anyways, we have a 5-dimensional assessment system. How you perform in our course matters. Okay. Hope that's clear. It's your login name says HP. I could not get your name. Okay. Then we have a person, we have a question from, Anuresh. Will programming part be hard for people with less programming background? Okay, Anuresh is asking. Okay, again, this is another interesting question, right? I have not come from a programming background. Absolutely nothing to worry, because everything will start from scratch. I don't know whether you know this fact or not. That that's why I said I'm from a ceramic engineering background, right? I was quite excited, because one is I never heard the ceramic engineering as a branch, right? Maybe it is in few engineering colleges. Second thing, from last, I think October or November, I don't remember, one of those months, we opened this embedded systems course for all the branches. We say, even if you're from a civil engineering, metallurgical engineering, mechanical engineering, you can do the course, right? Why? Because, okay, we figured it out that, it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. As long as you come because anyways, all the modules will start from level 0, whether you're coming from branch X or branch Y, or whether you come from programming background or non-programming background, doesn't matter. And I'm happy to say that we are able to place such people. Okay. For example, we are able to place mechanical students. We are able to place mechatronic students. And recently, last week or so, we are able to place our first civil engineering success story. Civil engineering is getting into core company. I think his review should be in Google, or we'll shortly show in our monthly meeting, right? I told my students yesterday, right? So every student, even it will sound crazy if I tell that we trained the civil engineering students and got him an embedded job, right? So people will laugh at me, but that's a fact. It does not matter your background, whether you knew programming in your engineering or not. Every course, every module will start from level 0. But yeah, you need to be regular and follow whatever the mentors are telling. If you do that, absolutely nothing to worry. Hope that's clear. Anuresh. Then Irsan is asking, sir, sorry, sir, but my friend told to ask because he wanted to ask. Okay. About this north-south debate. Why only South Indians are getting players, right? So, okay, my request is, let us not get, that's a very wrong notion. Okay, no company has got any kind of a bias towards north or south, even gender for that matter, right? For example, I am able to place students, especially I'm telling girl students, right? They come after 5 years of career break. As I said, they have pregnancy, they relocate because their husband got jobs. I'm able to see them and I'm showing them as a success story. I'm telling that, hey, yaar, look at this. Do you need any more inspiration than these girls, right? Okay. So that way I'm telling you that companies are not at all bothered about anything, whether it could be gender, location, north, south, doesn't matter. As long as you are you are an Indian, they're fine. Okay. You're living it in India, that's fine. Okay. Hope that's clear. Okay. Then Sumesh is asking, if I can't attend a practical class, how can I do practical? Okay. So in the induction class itself, don't ask me if I can't attend. You have to attend. If you miss it, you miss it. Because practical classes, that's why I tell people that, you are asking so many questions about programming, background, era of password, etc. one fine formula to work out all the challenges to be regular. Okay, if you miss it, you cannot do repeat. Right, you need to watch videos and then you need to record videos and then you try to make up, and that's very hard because it's not theoretical classes, right? For example, imagine the same induction class, right? Suppose I give a recorded video. Will you have the same experience of interacting, so many questions, right? So much of thinking, right? It will not happen. So that's the way, even though it's a slide driven class, right? I'm not doing any coding or you are making you do any coding, right? But if you miss it, you miss it. But I strongly recommend not to miss any classes. Then similar question coming from Sunanda Nandi. I'm from non-IT CSE background. So what should be my approach to this course so that I could be able to land in a good job? I'm planning to leave my job in August so that I can solely focus on this field. Okay, same answer. Okay, or I put it in this way. Okay, okay, something like people ask me, right? Should I study and come here? Right? I said no. Come here and study. Right? Okay, but study regularly. Attend all the practical, attend the labs, attend the classes. Maximum utilize all the mentors timeline. Make use of the support channels available. Make use of our placement support student success team. Yes, right? Absolutely fine. And if you're planning to quit your job in August, before even you get a job through us, no problem. Go ahead and quit. Okay, but be regular in our classes. That's a thumb rule. Because if you miss that also, then we cannot help you, right? Be regular. Okay, no issue whether you come from any. That's what I'm telling you, mechanical, mechatronics, civil, we are able to place, right? No problem. So Ramya is telling thank you, sir. Then Kunal is telling, if I'm not able to attend live sessions, have doubts, queries after going through the recorded session, is there any support available through chat or email? Kunal is asking. Yes, Kunal. Okay. In terms of support lines, you have two type of support. One is, as I'm saying, showing in the LMS, you can log in. There's a forum, a discussion forum. Unfortunately, I don't have a login. Mubin maintains these things, right? Okay. In fact, we show in that webinar also. No worries. Like you can log into this particular, portal. There'll be discussion forum where you can post your query, and that query our mentors will definitely answer. But what we are seeing in the recent past, other students are also answering, which is really a very happy news for all of us because peer-to-peer learning, right? And that's the reason why I make you guys introduce each other in the beginning of the session, because if you can help out each other, no matter how much mentors or lab mentors, class mentors, if you guys can help out each other, that's fantastic. Okay. Peer-to-peer learning is what we encourage. Point number one, right? Not only that, all of you are part of a WhatsApp group. Okay. Hope all of you joined, the group. No worries. In case if you're not joined, I'll share the link once again. I have the WhatsApp group. You can join and you can post your query in the WhatsApp during our working hours. 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. is what we tell. But even off working hours also, so our mentors tend to answer. Again, if our mentors are not answering, so one of our student will answer. They put a screenshot, it's not working, right? Definitely, because we believe that is one of our key differentiators, right? Anyways, later in the slide, I have some examples, but if you discuss these things now itself, it will be easy for to run the slides, right? Today, if you look at majority of the online portals, let's say Udemy or any other NPTEL for that matter, right? They all have fantastic content, fantastic courses. If you take NPTEL, IIT professors have done a fantastic job. In fact, I had one particular doubt about operating system boot up, right? I just went and Googled around an NPTEL video, fantastic video. The professor just kind of, ripped apart the entire booting process and, he showed a slide, right? Even though such fantastic contents are available, the challenge with such portals is the support, what, you are rightly talking about. Okay, I learned whatever a prof is telling, but if I try to do something, but I'm stuck, what do I do? Right? In fact, if you ask me, that is where our crux of the skill building lies. It is not about mentors telling, right? That way, in day one, I can give all the previous batch record video and go home, right? That's not ideal. But the important point is you guys producing the output. That is where our support, and we call this word called intervention, matters. Yes, WhatsApp based support is available. Forum based support is also available. You can utilize that. Okay. I'm happy that these questions are coming now itself, so that once you move to the slide, we can move faster. Okay. Then Abhishek is asking, so before placement, will be provided with required aptitude and reasoning session as company along with technical, they test this too. Okay, we will try that, Abhishek. What happens is, apart from then we do something called Disha, where we do a lot of these prep sessions. Even let us say every company that comes, right, we create a company specific WhatsApp group. Let us say there are students who got shortlisted who are from 10 different batches. Okay, so what do? We combine all of them and we create a WhatsApp group. there also, basically, questions are getting exchanged. We'll try to share the question bank so that you can go prepared along with the technical questions. But we don't run aptitude training as a separate session. That's not possible, right? Our mentors, but technically they will run. They will even run mock interviews. They run preparation sessions in C, microcontrollers, whatever is there in our curriculum, right? But general aptitude, basic electronics, and the project, three things we tell. In fact, it's there in the slide also. These three things you need to prepare. And if you're working professional, your previous projects, whatever you are worked on, please brush up. So that some questions, if they ask, right, what were you doing in your previous company, you should be able to explain. Okay, hope that's clear about the question about aptitude. Then there's a question from HP. Again, I'm not able to pick up your name. Does academics cutoff percentage matter to attend drives, right? See, every company will put a cutoff to attend a particular placement, right? For example, let me show you. I'm happy that, as I said, that these things are coming up now itself, so that later it will be easy for me. Let me go ahead and go to the forum. Let us say you can see, right, so many applications have come, right, in this is our snapshot of our Google group. You can see here, you can see, right, so many companies have come. This is where the live action happens. So many of you see our, many of you said, right, that they use came to know about us in social media, LinkedIn, etc., right? But if you look at this is our live group, right? Okay, if you open up any of this placement application, let us say, for example, I open up Harman, for example, right? Okay, you can see, right? I think it's little slow in my screen. So if you open up this application, right, the entire information is given here. But yes, companies do ask for a certain amount of academic record. For example, if you see here, BE, BTech, ME, MTech only can apply, only engineering graduates. And then they ask for a 60% highest qualification, right? And then you can see, right, 2019, 2021 students can apply. And there's a salary, terms and conditions, everything is given here, right? So yes, companies do look for academic cutoff. That's when we say at least having a first class degree becomes important. Okay. But even though, as I said, right, 40% of them are telling no year of pass or no percentage criteria, but having higher marks is good. But that's not very, as I said in the beginning, your academic criteria or year of pass out will not pay such a major, impact, I would say. Okay? Because we negotiate, we also try to bring down the cutoff, we also try to push or allow more older batch to allow, right? We keep doing those things. Okay? Hope that's clear. So Sridevi is asking, how many companies on an average hire for all locations, work in Hyderabad, Chennai, Pune, Delhi, etc. Right? Again, this is a very interesting question, right? I think, anyways, yesterday I had a monthly meeting. Let me see, my monthly meeting folder is here. It was in desktop. Did I move somewhere? Oh, monthly meeting is here. Let me just show you guys. Since you're all Emertxe students, right? I can very happily show this data. Okay, so this is the data of June I'm talking about. If you look at the June number of, I think 113 or 114, right? Maybe one or two companies got a month because it's a 2 days old data. As I said, data keeps changing on a daily basis, right? Here, if you see this particular sheet, this is the, what you call the type of companies they're hiring, and then what is the year of pass out, their academic criteria, salary, and then location, right? Okay, since this question is about location, let us go and apply the filter for the companies which come in a matter of, and then you can see, right, the interviews also. Majority of them are online, which I mentioned, right? More than 95% of them are happening online, the mode of interview, right? Only very few of them are direct or calling, right? So let us talk about location, right? If you look at this, right, this is the type of locations we have. Okay. You can see here, right? Bangalore, and some companies, let us say big companies, they have, multi-site. For example, a company like L&T, they have multi-site. They have locations in Mysore, Bangalore. They're opening more in tier 2 cities like Baroda, right? They have something like, Chennai, of course, right? And then some companies are there like Qualcomm who have 2 locations, Hyderabad, Bangalore, right? So it depends on the company. But largely, if you ask me, 90% of the location would be based out of Bangalore, right? And there is also a question from somebody is asking, how many of them for Coimbatore, right? Coimbatore would be, I think, 1 or 2 companies will be coming from Coimbatore. I think it's a MAK control system. Then there's one company called Brigosha who, hire our students, and majority of them are deployed in, Bosch, Coimbatore, right? Okay, but if you look at majorly this data, if you just skim through, right, it is very obvious that 90% of the data is coming from Bangalore only. And even one company still they were there ready to give remote working location. This is like a June data we just consolidated. And by the way, this is what we do in monthly meeting. I meet the students month on month basis. Yesterday and day after we had a meeting. We review this data. It's not that we tell and we leave it, right? Every month and once you guys started attending the classes, once you guys started attending the placement, right? You have more questions. And what we do in Emertxe, right? We encourage you. You can see that it's already 8:30. I will still not the technical session has been not started, but that's fine. We are not here to hurry up. I'm not here to get 2 hour over class over by, right? Especially induction, right? I don't mind stretching the time. Okay, so but the important point is, especially in induction, ensure that all your mind is cleared up, because I tell students, right? It's like our head is like noodles, right? So many confusion, so many misunderstandings, so many wrong information given, so many doubts, so many issues in your mind, etc. Right? I say that just remove them. That's my one of the other goals of doing my induction class. Hope that's clear. Sri Devi, this is a data from June. Okay. Jaya sir, 100% is telling Ishan. Thanks, Ishan. Sir, my working time is 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So I may miss practical classes. Sumesh is asking. Yes, Sumesh, right? You need to manage this. Again, this is a challenge with respect to working professionals, that, and some of them will work in shifts, right? And it's also happening. Even people who can uh, come early, you know, they'll say, right? There's a project deadline is there, right? Sorry, guys, somebody's gone out of mute. Let me check who it is. Somebody's saying or something. I don't know. Let me try to mute the person. All right. So, the where did I leave? I think due to the noise, I got lost. Okay. Yeah. So, working timing, right? So, basically, even if you're able to manage time for some model, definitely some project deadline may come, or you need to travel due to your work requirements, right? Or there is a critical customer issue you are getting stuck up with, where you need to spend a lot of time in resolving, right? This all happens, especially for working people. My challenge to all of you is that you need to manage it, right? Okay. Again, we as a plan B, we give you the recorded videos, right? Okay. You need to manage your time. That I leave it up to you. You are the best person. You're all experienced, right? And I don't know what is the context within your company. You need to manage your time. And of course, the recorded videos are there. The chat is available. You can take our support, no problem. But if you're not able to make it on time, okay, come what may, the classes will start on time. Okay. They'll run from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., right? They run on 6 to 6:45, 6 to 7 labs will run, right? So that way it will keep happening. As a working professional, that's a challenge, no, right? If no challenge, then everybody will do, right? You have taken a first step of, coming out of your comfort zone, and you realize that I want to get into core company, or I want to achieve career transition, you come here. That's really great. But now you need to work towards it, right? So you need to manage your time, Sumesh. So, how many companies offer jobs in Coimbatore? So, Janaki Raman, I think you are a Coimbatore native person, if I'm not wrong, right? He wants job in Coimbatore only. Okay. Yes, as I told you, one or two companies come. Okay, and I said one of the companies, Brigosha, who hires students and they deploy in Coimbatore, Robert Bosch location. Okay, mid-sized company. But you can see, right, 90% of them are in Bangalore. Abhishek is telling yes, sir. Again, then Sunanda is telling, sir, could you kindly reschedule the practical class because office gets over at 6 p.m. Same thing, right? We will not be able to do that. Okay. Our timings are fixed. So can I get recorded video tomorrow's class? Are you? Ishan, how can I send tomorrow's class? Tomorrow's session will be coming only day after tomorrow. If I give in advance, that's not a live class. No, it's already a pre-recorded class, right? So every class happens live first, then that gets recorded. It will come tomorrow, right? Okay. Then Janakiraman is telling, sir, is there any chance to reschedule the practical class because the work timing for some students is up to 6 p.m.? Not possible. I think I already clarified. Sridevi is telling, thanks for the info, sir. So Afroz is asking, I want to buy a development board. So which board do you suggest? Beagleboard Black or Firefly or Raspberry Pi? Okay. I'll talk about it, but let me briefly tell you, right? You don't need to buy any board. Okay. We teach our course based on a simulators, and the simulators will give you the exact learning experience what you get in a real-time hardware. I'll show you two boards. I'll also share you the simulator names, right? But you really want to buy, because our physical, our offline students, when they come, we give boards, and we have in our office. They check out the board, work on it, while going home they return and go, right? But if you say no sir, no sir, no simulator, I really want to get a board and work, I'll share you the links. There are two models which are dependent on hardware. One is microcontroller, another is embedded Linux, right? For those two, I'll share you the board name. You can buy them online, right? Okay. So those simulators, whatever you are going to use, they're open source simulators which you will be installing in your PC, your laptop or your PC. Okay, and they're open source. They're lightweight. It will run, okay? And that learning experience, as I said, it will give you same learning experience. In fact, later point in time when you buy a board, right, and you are running your code in simulator, change the port configuration. Only one or two line of change. Download the same code into the real board. It will work. Suppose you're blinking your LED, right? Or you're putting something in the 7-segment display, right? You written a code in simulator. Take the same code, make one or two line of port configuration changes for the real board, download into the board, it will work exactly as it is, right? So no need to buy on your own, because sometimes what we feel with students is that by buying this board, this will also put additional financial burden, right? That board will cost you some 10,000 rupees, especially students, right? Will have some challenges, right? Okay, so we don't recommend, but if you want to buy, I'll share you the link in the subsequent slides. Okay. Then yeah, there's a question. Then Abhishek is saying, what soft skills does a student need to learn on their own, right? Soft skills, we'll tell in the Disha workshop, we'll cover some of these topics, Abhishek, right? What do they expect, how to behave in the interview and all, right? We'll discuss in detail. Okay. So Sai Bhavan is asking, so do automotive companies expect knowledge of AutoSAR from the candidates, right? No, okay, at least as far as our students are concerned, because for the companies, whenever we are getting into any engagement, we share the entire information to the companies also, okay, saying that this is what the curriculum we teach, okay. So there's absolutely no need for you to, at least with respect to embedded side, right? As I said, general aptitude, basic electronics, you need to study. But with respect to the embedded curriculum, right, whatever our curriculum itself is more than enough. You don't need to learn anything else. Right? In fact, I would openly say, if you do our course curriculum, if you complete 40% of our course curriculum, 40%, if you take all the modules, right, you completed 40% of the modules well, you can get a job. So no need to go and learn something extra apart from, sir, can I learn Python, can I learn this, can I learn that, right? No need to. We say, right, we say, right, you don't go breadth, you go depth, right? Or I would say inch wide, mile deep, right? Have this much, but go deep. That's our approach we take in our course. They don't expect auto, sir. Some companies would train you after they hire you. But when they hire you for the skills what you learn in our course. And as I said, we transparently share the syllabus also with the companies. Okay. Hope that's clear, Bhavani. Then Ramya is telling, sir, I have a doubt in there, right? Any reference book? Okay. So Ramya, I think you are coming from academic background. You worked as a teacher, right? That's what you're asking for a book. Okay. In Emertxe, we don't give any book. Let me tell you, right? We don't ask you to read any book. Enough, no, in your college you read so many books, bada mota books you read, right? In Emertxe, we say learning means doing. Learning, if suppose somebody comes and tells, I know C programming, right? We tell, and you would have studied some Yashwant Kanitkar, this, that, and all, right? Leave it. If you come and ask me in Emertxe, when you say C programming, what do you mean by learning C programming? I say, show me 100 lines of code, working code written by you. That's what we say as a learning, right? Even though we give a lot of PDFs, reference materials, etc., right? Okay, you don't need to buy any book. But still you're asking in the spirit of sharing, like let me go and type this particular screen. All of you can, by the way, I don't know whether you guys are aware or not, apart from whatever we give in our LMS, our entire course curriculum is open. Go and type, I mean, this link is not there in the home page, which we need to work on, right? So emerge.com/embedded-systems, if you think, right, our entire course content is made available online, right? Not recorded videos, okay? Recorded videos for only you guys, right? Other things, for example, your presentation, sample code, projects, everything is available in the open, right? If you feel that some of your friend may be beneficial, ask them to take it and read. We are very much open about it, right? Here, if you go, let us say, for example, C programming. If you go course materials, if you click, if you go there, we are given some materials here. Course objectives, as you can see here at the screen. To come down, we given some textbook. A slide is here anyways. Reference materials. There are some PDF which you can download, and we also given some reference books. And if you click this reference book, it will take you to the Amazon or Flipkart website. You can buy them. Okay, but I tell you this, we have done it for our spirit, but don't need to buy any books. Okay, use LMS, do things practically. That is more than enough. Okay, no need to buy. Enough, you purchase enough books, no? Okay, in your college. Okay. All right. Okay. So when I said in the beginning of the induction class, right, question and answer is what makes this induction class interesting, right? I hope all of you would agree to me by now, because the slides we not even started. I just did the placement section, right? But what the happy part is that many of the points which I'm going to cover in the slide, you already asked and we already discussed. That way, running the slide is no big deal, right? I can even share the slide to you, can read. That's not the idea. Idea is to discuss, clarify all your questions, right? Okay. Then Pavan Sai is telling, so does our institute give any guidance if I'm not able to get a place in a job even after 1 year of completing the course, right? See, point number one, as I said, right, you will get 2 years of placement assistance. You can continue to, apply. Okay. That way we'll be able to help you with respect to placements, right? But your mentor support, clarifying doubts and all will complete as soon as you're completing your course. We'll not be able to give any additional support from the technical side. Placement side, yes, 2 years will give. Okay. But from technical side, sir, I have this doubt. Can you help me? That will not be able to help once you complete the course. Okay, because mentors also need to keep on moving from batch to batch, right? We run, as I said, per month, we run 3 batches easily, right? The numbers are also increasing, right? That's point number one. Point number two is like, Pavan, I would like to challenge you, right? Again, these are all a mindset problem that what if I don't get placed after 1 year? What if some people even ask, right? What if I don't get placed even after 2 years, right? Whom to blame? Okay. It is you to whom to be blamed, right? But what I'm telling is, as long as you follow the mentor's guideline, you're attending the all classes, not getting placed even after 1 year, that case itself doesn't arise. Okay. Think like that. Don't think the worst case, because what happens again, the mind noodles, right? There's always dialogue going on. Okay. Because I always ask these people, if there's an element of failure, there's an element of fear in your mind, I would request you to please come out of it. Okay. Follow that situation itself. I challenge you to work like that. Don't work like, what if I don't get placed? Imagine, right? You are a cricket player, you are going into the field to play. If you think, oh, what if I get bowled in first ball itself? You will definitely get bowled. Or even if you don't get bowled, you will get hit wicket and come. Because why? Mentally you prepare that you will get out, right? So please keep a right positive mindset. This situation itself won't arise. That would be my answer. But technically, whatever the answer I'm supposed to give is, once your course is over, mentor support will be done. But yeah, placement support will continue. Hope that's clear. Sai, Pavan Sai. All right, guys. So I think it's already 8:45. Okay. Can I get some quick response? Okay. Yeah, I will try my level best. Yeah, that's the spirit. Give a level best. I assure you, and results will come. 100% results will come. Just give a level best. Be sincere. Definitely results will come. Okay. Can I get some quick responses? How are you finding the session so far? I know it's thank you for the clarification, says Sumesh. Can I get some quick responses from all of you? Excellent, helpful, great, sir. Okay, thank you, sir, says Swati. Informative, says Kuldeep. It was so informative, says HP. I don't know your name. Thank you, sir. Good, says Ramya. Excellent, says Varshan. Super, sir, says RK. Okay. Thank you very much, guys, for your kind words. See, as per schedule, this typically the sessions are scheduled between 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Right? But definitely, you guys know we are already at 8:45. We'll not be able to wind it up by 9 p.m. It will take time. Okay. I hope all of you would push your dinner time a little bit, for at least for induction class. It will not happen for a regular class. Mentors will wind it up on time, right? But since it is induction class, as I said, right, it's important to clarify your mind. That's my responsibility, to clarify all your questions, so that when you start attending classes, Nothing confusion. Just be focused. I tell in the horse, right? How they remain focused, right? You remain focused for 6 months, results will come. Okay. Okay. So can you push your dinner time by some time? I don't know what time it is. Can you all push your dinner time today little bit for me and for your sake, for others' sake? Can I get some responses? Okay, sure, sir, says Rakshit, right? Okay, okay, yes, sir. Okay. I know because induction typically takes more time. And in fact, I had a talk with Asma today. She said, sir, more students are enrolled for evening batch. I said, I tried to minimize the introduction, which I did. Right? Otherwise, even I get into a discussion, the introduction itself. But if you see, right, so many questions are coming up. And I cannot ignore and say, oh, no, no, I this question I will not answer, right? Okay, all right. So all of you will decided to stay little bit late, right? Even if you're hungry. Or we can say, stay hungry, stay foolish, right? So we all become successful, you know. Uh, uh, our great Steve Jobs quotation. Okay, all right. So can I move on to the technical session? How the course is going to get delivered? As I said, right? We even technical session, good number of the information we already shared, but slides will run faster. I'm happy. Okay, all right. So let us move on to the second segment about the uh, you know technical part of the course. Oops, start from the beginning. All right. So let us get into this. So we will give you an overview about the course and the module level details. Placements, even though we've seen the high level of placement, we'll get into process level details. Certification and some do's and don'ts. And the end of the thing, we'll say, no, what are your subsequent modalities, right, of your class getting started, right? Okay. Overview, I think we discussed this in detail, right, in terms of the skill gap that is existing in India, where the practical education is a challenge. Okay, all of you had learned your education. You're all qualified engineers. Some of them have done MTech also. Okay, you are on paper. All of you look very good. You all have studied in colleges, right? Your CGPA percentage looks good, right? But what is the problem? The problem is your education has been theoretical, right? So you wanted to learn things in a practical way. So that's what we do in Emertxe, where this particular course, Emertxe Certified Embedded Professional, that's what the internal name that we give, is to basically skill you people and move from the knowledge zone to skill zone. So I tell people that you all have knowledge. Knowledge is only theoretical knowledge, but you need to move to the practical. That's what the industry or the job requires, right? That's what we are going to do. And how this course is going to get delivered, as you can see, right? The mode is also very easy to understand. The first one is like a virtual classes, virtual classrooms, right? So virtual classrooms, all of you can understand, right? What we are doing today. There's a GoToMeeting. We are going to use the same GoToMeeting for your course. The mentor will come and talk live, and you will be listening, you'll be chatting, interacting with the mentors and understand, right? This is one portion, and of course, this gets recorded and given to you, right? But as I said, that is only a portion. But what is more important, which we already discussed about doubt clarification, etc., right? It is the second portion which is important, which we call it as in Emertxe terminology, we use the word called intervention. So intervention is nothing but basically the doubt clearing, the submission, the support, the assessment, the exams. Right? That is where you are. It's like a coach, right? Like for example, now Rahul Dravid is a coach, right? We are all like coach. We'll teach you the technique, but you need to practice, right? Then only you can go and deliver in the real, ground or real match, right? So I would say that is what differentiates us with respect to any other online courses, and that's the reason why we have seen phenomenal success in our online students, right? If you ask me, March 2020, when the entire world went into pandemic, the entire our whole emerging institution was shut due to pandemic, and our students were asked to run right to their native place. We had no clue how we are going to take it forward. But today, sitting in July 2022, we can confidently say our online students' record has been phenomenal thanks to the intervention part or the support part. It's not about listening to videos or watching a recorded video. That's just the 20% of the story. 80% of the story, somebody already asked the doubt clearing, getting the support, building your output, showing the project, right? and then I'm stuck, I need some help, right? That's what we are here for. Otherwise, as I said, all, in fact, if you go and ask my team, so many batches we have recorded, I don't know, hundreds and thousands of hours of video. We put everything in a packet. We'll give you one same portal and we'll give and go home, right? That's not ideal. That's only the 20%. So please understand the difference, right? And it's a 70, sorry, it's a 5 months course and 70% practical. That's what we mean. And the mode of delivery is like in the virtual classes, whatever we are doing, something what we are doing today, you understand some concepts, and along with the mentor, you will be mimicking the mentor and do something called as a code along. The mentor is teaching, he or she will be teaching some coding exercises, then you do it, right? Then you move to the assignment section. The assignment section, as you all know, it happens from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. or 6:45 p.m., where the mentor explains the assignment, and then you go and start building. And that's where you have doubt, you come back and ask in the forum, and then you move on, right? And then hardware platform, I'll just show you in a few minutes how that works. We have a continuous evaluation system where every part gets assessed, where assignment, attendance, projects, weekly tests, module tests, etc. And module specific projects are given so that you can build on each and every module, good number of projects. By the end of the course, we expect all of you to build 7 to 8 projects so that your resume looks really rich. And we are going to run you through a series of workshops called Disha workshop, where we do the resume building, interview facing, mock interviews, company specific preparation, module specific preparation, monthly placement meetings for clarifying your doubts, etc. We do all these activities to ensure that you are well set to face the interview or the written test from a company. Okay. That's our overview of the course. Let me move on. So this is what I meant. Sometime back we were discussing about the online learning, right? So what is happening in majority of the online learning portals today is what you see in the picture, right? As a learner, you are getting overloaded with content, video after video, video after video, right? For example, we take an example of Udemy, fantastic portal, 450 rupees, you will get a very nice course, any course you can think of, right? I myself have taken some courses. But the problem is, it's not only about giving a content, but you also need to give support. Right? When I am getting stuck or when I have some doubts, right? That is where the main thing comes in. So that's where our course, what I mean by intervention, gets delivered. It's not only about the content alone, it is about the hand-holding support from everything, support from doubt clearing, support in terms of placement, support in form of your counseling. Everything is given to you so that we are here to achieve a challenging goal, I would say. Challenging goal means what? Getting into a core job. That we made possible because of the approach which is available in the right side. Okay. So that's what lead to our immersive delivery model, which I explained so far, which includes the live virtual classes, what we are doing today. And labs, when I say lab, external will be happening and as a first step. And then when you start working on, you will get a lab, you'll get a synchronous, the doubt clearing and support via your, WhatsApp and the forum based support. Then every topic that the mentor is covering will have an assignment and project which you are supposed to work on it and submit. So that's where the assessment, grading, valuation, all those things come into picture. And finally, the prep. No matter how much ever regular we are all working, so definitely, definitely the last minute preparation. Oh, sorry, there's some jumping happening here. Okay, yeah. So that's where the interview preparation, mock interviews, those things come into picture. So put together, this immersive delivery model will prepare you, well for the job and the interview. Right? And skills and capabilities, this is how the module level stack will look like. Okay, if you look at here, our course is having multiple levels. The level 1 is nothing but Linux systems, C programming and C++ programming. Let us spend few minutes and understand this module also to get at least an overview. So the Linux systems are the first module will give you an overview about Linux and also certain aspects like, for example, executing a command, shell scripting, right? And then automating certain things using shell script. That's what you will be learning in this first module called, Linux systems, right? Then you learn C programming, where you will get into really the hands-on coding part of it. Many of you ask, right? I don't have a coding background. How do I do? It will take care. Okay. And I tell my students, right, by the end of the C programming module, if you are regular attending all the classes, all the assignments, projects, you'll be able to easily build 500 lines of C programming on your own. Okay, that's on your own. If you give a project 500 lines, you'll be able to code it. Okay, provided you are regular to the classes and doing assignments. Similarly, C++ programming is another module where we'll introduce it. It's relatively a shorter module. Our major stress is on C, right? Which will give you object-oriented programming related concept, because which is also important because when it comes to embedded systems, larger set, I would say more than 80% of the embedded systems are programmed using C, but some percentage is written using the C++ also. Okay, that's where the module comes into picture, right? Once you are done with your level one, right? Once you are done with your level one, which happens around third month, that's when we say you can start applying for placements. In fact, when you have spoken with your counsel in our counseling team, they would have told you, right? You can start applying for placement after the third month. Did you hear that statement from our team of counselors? Can you get some response? Our team would have told, right? Counselor would have told you. After the third month, you can apply. This is what they mean, right? Once they finish this module, which takes about the third month, you can start applying. Can I get some responses? Yeah, I'm getting some responses. Yeah, all of you are telling yes, right? This is what we mean, because we want you to complete at least this minimal module so that you can start applying. And as I already told you, sir, no, sir, I want to attend more modules and then apply. No problem. There's no force on any student to apply, but your placement will start opening up after this. This point number one, right? In the similar lines, our placement team would have told you one more statement during your counseling, not placement team, sorry, counseling team. They would have told you that your placement support will continue 2 years after your course completion, right? Two statements. Statement number one, you can start applying after third month. That's why we are seeing why, right? We wanted to complete these modules and apply. And other statement, they would have told you that you can get placement support up to 2 years after course completion. So let me draw a timeline and explain how it works so that all your questions goes out of your mind, gets clarified, right? So let us say now we are let me draw a timeline here. Sorry if my lines are not straight. Okay, this is like, let us say for example, you guys are starting in the month of July 22. This is where you are starting your course, right? Let us put 5 months. Let us say July, August, September, October, November. Let us put 2 weeks in December, and here and there. Let us say your course is going to get over in the month of December 22. 5 months, little bit of grace period here and there. So what is this? This is roughly is where your course is happening. Okay, point number one. Now what I'm saying here, after the third month means you can start applying for placement after third month. Once you finish this module, roughly let us say July, August, September. The 3 months are there. Let us say from October 1st week or October 1st onwards, you can start applying for placement. So where it happens, let us dot timeline here. So October will come somewhere here, right? So October 22, you can start applying for placements. The placements begins there once you complete a level one. Is it clear? You can start the placement period. Other statement, as I said, what my counselor would have told, you will get a placement support 2 years after the course completion. How does that work? Let us say December 22, you are completing your course, right? Okay. You will get placement support from us till December 24. December 2024, you will get unlimited placement opportunities. You can apply to as many companies as you want, but as I told, already clarified you can only join one company. You can apply, attend interviews, I clarified that, right? Multiple companies, we clarified, right? But if you ask me logically, what happens is, here, whatever our team would have told, right? This is your 2 years of, years of whatever our team has told. But if you ask me, it is actually 3 months added. If you ask me, if you add these two, you can say something like a 27 months of placement window is availability. Okay. And it is not necessary that you need to start from October 1st. As I said, no force. Somebody say, no, sir, I come here to learn. I'll wait. In fact, we recommend that also. Some people will be very desperate. Okay. They say, okay, today C programming got over, tomorrow onwards I'll start applying, right? Some, they might not have even completed a project. Okay. I said, okay, go and apply, go and attend, right? If you go and attend, what will happen? You'll not get selected. But if you wanted to, attend more modules, stabilize yourself, work on one or two, that we recommend. Because anyways, it's going to be there for 24 months. Even let us say, if not October, let us say one student says, no, sir, I want to give one more month time to me. I'll want to start applying from November, no problem. We recommend you to do that. Okay. Are you getting a view about when these two statements, right? After the third month, you can start applying. You can apply up to 2 years. Can you get some responses? Is that timeline part clear to all of you? Okay, all right, great. All of you telling yes, 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 clear. Okay. So now what happens in the course, right? Subsequently, you go for other modules, like for example, you learn data structures, where you take your programming to next level. Then you will be still coding in C only, but you will be learning, for example, linked list, queue, stacks, right? Searching algorithm, sorting algorithm, hash tables, etc. Where you take your programming knowledge, whatever you learned in your C programming here, you take your programming knowledge to next level by learning data structure. In the similar lines, for example, whatever you learned in Linux systems, right, that you will be taking to the next level by getting into Linux internals and networking, where you are going to learn Linux at a level 2. You consider Linux system is level 1, Linux internals and TCP/IP networking is level 2. In level 2, what we'll be doing, we'll be learning Linux kernel architecture, how the kernel is architected and built, right? And things like, for example, multitasking applications, multi-threading application writing, inter-process communication mechanisms, socket programming using TCP and UDP sockets, right? You'll be learning that, okay? And of course, embedded systems is not complete without learning the microcontrollers. So you learn microcontrollers, where you'll be start learning how using C programming, how do you program a microcontroller, which is having, let us say, for example, certain peripherals, right? It could be LCD, or could be, what do you call your LED, right? It could be any motor, any kind of an interface, right? So you learn about how to do that. Now, moving on, you will learn subsequently. Again, as a final module, what do? You again take your learning of embedded Linux internals and networking to next level by getting into another module called embedded Linux. So embedded Linux, what happens? You run your Linux in a target board, in an ARM based board, which is nothing but we call it as a embedded Linux on ARM platform. That's where my mouse is little troubling. Yeah. So that's where you learn your, oops, until here and there, right? Go to the next level. But throughout that, definitely, we'll be doing the Disha workshops, and NSDC certification we'll be getting, okay? And placement ready. Placement ready actually happens at level 3, but, from a timeline perspective, this is how it happens as a package, right? Now, let us come back to the question about hardware, right? There are two modules which are dependent on hardware. One is microcontrollers and interfacing module, and another one is the embedded Linux module, right? Let me go out of the window and show you guys about the hardware part of it. So when I say simulator, let me go here and go to Google. Say, for example, Rido Labs PIC scan board. You just type here. This is the board that we use to teach our students when we are learning in the offline mode. When you come to our office and learn the same course, like you can see here, this is the board that we use. And again, this board you can buy. This link is also available. Later, if you can share, you ask our mentor, they'll exactly share you the URL. Okay. And you can see this board is having all the required peripherals here, right? Okay, you can program your LEDs, LCD, SSD, the 7-segment display, etc. Right, and you use various protocols like I2C, your SPI to communicate and things like that. Right, so you use these boards, physical boards, to program. Okay, okay. If you want to buy the board, no problem, you can go and buy. But for an online student, what we do, we use a simulator. Right, let me show what is a simulator. If you come like right, there's something called as a PIC Sim Lab. This PIC Sim Lab basically, is the one which simulates the hardware. Again, you can see it's open source. We are, strong proponent of open source. By the way, July 11th, I think next Saturday we are having our next edition of master class webinar coming in, where my ex-colleague, and he's the chief architect now in Huawei, is going to talk about how to contribute to open source, right? Okay, so we are really a passionate company about open source. In fact, except me and few other people, right, their desktops are Linux only. Okay, only very few of us use Windows. Okay. All our mentors use Linux as their desktop, right? Okay. So you can see here, this is a simulator I'm talking about. Okay. This simulator you're going to install in your computer. Okay, this will be running as a part of, just like how you run any browser, right? This will be running as a part of your computer, and you can run all the experiments here. You can write the code, you can download, and then see how it works. You can see that this pretty much like similar to the board that we shown a few minutes back, right? And as I said, whatever works in this board, if you change a line or two, it will exactly work in the board also. So this is lightweight. You don't need to. Amit is asking how to install. No need to worry about Amit, right? Right from installing Linux, installing the simulator, everything will be taught. Okay, how to download this from the internet, how to install. It is free. Yes, that's what I meant by open source, right? This is all open source, GPL, General Public License one. Okay, and we are not using any pirated version or something. As I said, we are a strong supporter of open source as a company, right? So this you can download, and this in order to run this simulator, you don't need a very hi-fi laptop, because sometimes you hear, right, especially folks who are studying VLSI, they want to run a chip simulator, and I think they want to use a design software. It requires really a high-end machine. In order to run this simulator, you don't need that high-end machine. Decent i3, i5 type of laptop or desktop is more than enough. Okay, this is point number one. Similar to that, other model which I spoke about is nothing but the embedded Linux model. If you come to our institute and learn, right, we use this particular board called BeagleBone Black. This is again one of the popular board, which is primarily promoted by Texas Instruments, right? This is a very nice board to learn. You can. This is a processor, right? Please note the previous one is a controller. Okay, this is like a processor where you run an OS in it. Right? The previous one you cannot run an OS. It's like a small scale processor controller. You can run something and you can develop embedded systems on it. But this embedded system is much more complicated, where you can run an entire Linux in this particular board. Right? Of course, you need to customize it. That's what that embedded Linux is all about, right? So this particular board, you can again students will come check out, use and go. We have boards in our institute, right? Okay. But what do we do for the online student like you? We are going to use again another simulator called QEMU. We call QEMU emulator. QEMU emulator is again an open source simulator, absolutely free. You can download, you can install, right? This emulator will give you the similar learning experience of what you will be learning in your embedded Linux. You can see there's an image that is popping up where it is showing in an x86 based PC, you are simulating an ARM instruction set. Okay. Some of you may not be able to make out what is there in the screen. Don't worry, you will learn it in your course. I'm just telling an example, right? So this way, you're only going to learn using simulator, and absolutely no compromise in terms of your learning effectiveness, and in terms of placement, there's absolutely no issue. If you do these things, no company is going to, oh, you did not learn in the real board. No, reject, right? Nobody is going to tell. You'll be able to answer your questions. You'll be able to practice ample amount of experiments, do all the projects using these emulators. No worries. Again, if you want to buy boards, links are available. We'll share you. Put together, it will cost you about 10,000 rupees. If you can spare, well and good. Go and buy. Nobody's going to stop you. Okay. Hope that clarifies about our board part of it, right? Let me back. So this is about the modules, hardware, emulators, and everything we discussed. And as I said, everything in Emertxe will get evaluated, right? Everything is getting measured, be it your attendance, be it your assignments, be it your projects, be it your weekly test, and be it your module test. Okay. Even our test will be based on coding and practicals. They won't ask any theoretical questions. If at all it will be that, one or two will be that, but majority it will be based on hands-on practical based thing only, right? You will be going through assessments, and based on your assessment, you will be giving a progress report, how well you are performing. Right? Please note, this is the most important slide. Ask me. Okay? Because if you are, many of us ask, right, sir, I am from 2015 batch, I'm a 2017 batch, how they are able to get job? I am from a non-computer science background, I'm from an electronics background, I'm from material science background, I'm from a civil background, right? Any background you can come, no problem. But if you are following a methodology of what our mentors are telling, right, naturally you will be in the higher band. For example, if you are performing well, you will be in the green zone, because your grading will be high. And our assessment is also based on various mechanisms, like that way you need to be really regular, and you need to be really consistent. Then only you can score. Sometimes what happens, right? One exam, if you write, you may get good marks and your score will look good. Our system doesn't work like that. It is a continuous evaluation system, if you see, right? And based on which this is given. And people ask me, in monthly meetings, even yesterday they were asking me, right? So how do I crack a premium company, right? Should I do something extra? Some students ask, sir, can you introduce to me to the previous student who got placed in premium company, right? Can I learn from him what he did, right? I said nothing. Don't need to break your head. Be in the green zone. Be in the green zone. Automatically, premium companies you can crack. There is no complex equation here, right? So as long as you're regular, and same thing, right? Let us consider two scenarios, right? One student is a 2015, like 7 year back, he or she is passed out, but let us say she's in a green zone. And let's say one more girl student who's a 2022 pass out, who is going to just come out of the college, but he or she is in the red zone. Even though, is a latest batch pass out, they will consider these students because they know that our skill building and our assessment is what more valuable for them. And in India, different universities have got different evaluation mechanisms. Different universities have got different standards of evaluation. For example, I'm sure folks in will agree. We have students from Maharashtra also, right? What I heard, right? Anybody studying in university, Mumbai University, Pune University, scoring is very, very hard. In fact, they say 65% is a distinction. Do you agree with me, folks from Maharashtra in the call? I was surprised when I heard this, right? 65% is called distinction I think, yes, yeah, Kunal is telling, right? Kunal, I think, I don't know, many universities, I think there is one University of Pune, then we have, Mumbai University, then Savitribai Phule University. These universities, very tough to score. But there are some other universities where it's easy to score, okay, where 70% is no big deal. I'm going to take the names, you'll beat me up. So, right? So, what I'm saying is these things companies are aware and they don't care. That's what I'm telling you, right? They don't care much about your CGPA percentage, etc. They say, are you in the top? Then you are top in the placements in terms of, and I'm telling, right, in terms of companies, I started calling them as a double digit companies. What do you mean by double digit companies? Companies who are paying 10 LP and above. And I'm seeing more companies are coming into this foray. Okay, recently, we placed students, in NXP, we used to place them on 7 to 8 lakhs band. Now, in a different model, we work with them. They're getting placed in the 13, 14 lakhs, 13.5 or something. I think today, yesterday, our team has published a few things in our social media. Okay, you guys will know better than me, right? You are watching. And then similarly, people are getting Qualcomm offer like 22 LP. Yeah, Ishan is telling today. Right? You guys are watching social media than me, right? Okay, my team publishes that. Okay, we have NXPs coming in. Then there's a company called Chelsea, which is having 14. Microchip is offering 10. I think Infineon is offering 11, right? So it's all there. Okay, my request to all of you is that, be in the top performing zone. Automatically, your premium companies will happen. Okay. And your era password, all those problems will go away. It is very important. Now, moving on. And this is what we mean by Disha system. And I think this also be covered. As I said, one beauty about having a long Q&A session is we don't need to bother much about slides, right? Okay. We do all the workshops, right, on various topics, be it mock interviews, resume workshop, interview workshop, career building. And some of the students also, we hear that, they want to go for higher studies, right? They may, 1 or 2% of the students, they say, right, sir, I have not come here for placements. I want to go for higher studies, right? So we also help them in providing letter of recommendation. They get into good universities. And even after getting into universities, they go, they apply for jobs there. They get selected in jobs, in those countries, be it Singapore, be it in Europe, especially in Germany, be it, US, right, especially in the Bay Area, right? A lot of students who went and did their masters are working there. And even when they work also, when they want to hire, right, they give a lot of importance to references, right? They call, they give my number. I get phone calls from, yeah, by the way, we have students in Canada, right? Canada, US, Singapore, Europe. They call me. They call my number. Sometimes my placement team gives the reference, but sometimes they say, sir, you only talk, right? So I pick up the phone. They call me a reference call. Is he a student, right? People keep coming. Recently, I'm telling 2 weeks back, a student who recently moved into US and he got a job in Honeywell, US, right? He messaged me in the early morning saying that, sir, I given your phone number. Hope it's okay. So we are very glad, right? So what I'm telling is our relationship with Emertxe is very, very far. Even somebody whom we place they change a company, right? And then say, sir, can I give your phone or any of our mentors, senior people's phone number as a reference? So go ahead, do it, right? We are all here to help you, right? So that's about Disha, what we do. Okay. And then again, we are back to placements. Anyways, placements also we covered a lot. I will touch about more on the process point of it now. So this completes our second segment, right? We covered the first one about the placement trends, job trends, and we spent a lot of time in Q&A. In fact, in the Q&A, it's a good amount of course-related questions came, so that we made it interactive and covered our slides, how the modules are structured, how it is going to get delivered, what is an LMS, what is a simulator, right? How the module level progression happens, how the scoring happens, evaluation happens, etc. Right? So, are you able to get a view about our course now? If you have any questions, please feel free to type. Please go ahead and type if you have any questions, or if you are clear, or if you have no questions, just type that no questions, so that I'll be clear. I am fine. Okay, no sir, no questions. All clear, says Rakshit. Ramya is telling no questions. Sridevi is telling no questions. Anuresh is telling all. So this is the beauty, right, guys, who are able to understand, right? We did a lot of Q&A, so this slide becomes easy for me. I also know, right? This all clear. I know it's 9:20. Okay, I try to. Last one is also, placements. Also, we discussed a lot. We will, try to wind up, right? All right, let us move to placements. As I said, placement, we saw the high level. Let us get into the process point of, right? As I already showed in the course segment, right? You can start applying once you finish your C or whatever, the C++ module, right? C++ anyway is a small module, 1 or 2 weeks, right? Okay. Okay. So all of you, once you are, anyways, you're part of the group. Larger chunk has joined today's induction class. But what my team told me today, and also they will typically do, is they will keep the admission open for some days, right? So that any last minute admissions, and somebody might not have completed the registration formalities. And we even hear sometimes students saying that, no, sir, this day is not auspicious. We wanted to join on some other day. Parents will see some, things under whatever, right? We keep some admission open for a few more days, right? Then they'll close it, because if you keep open, right, then they'll miss the classes. Then we tell somebody, say, okay, come in the next batch. Otherwise, you would have missed the section, right? So once you are before that itself, in a few days' time, all of you will be, anyways, you've given all your data to us, right? All of you will be added to the Google group, which I showed you a few minutes back, right? In that Google group, the entire information about the company is given, which also I showed. Harman's example I showed, right? Company name, URL, year of passout, percentage, what is the mode of working, any additional terms and conditions. For example, some company tells, you should be willing to travel, work in the client's place. Some company will tell, we'll be deploying into any locations, right? It could be, as I said, L&T, right? They'll say you should be open. The project may come in Mumbai, the project may come in Chennai, the project may come in Mysore, you should be willing to work anywhere, right? That also will be mentioned. Some companies will ask for bond, that also will be mentioned. And anyways, now it's fine, but even earlier, some of the students used to have concerns of working from home. So the entire information is made to you upfront. And you check yourself, as we saw that, and in the below there will be link to apply. And the link will have a deadline to apply. You go through, as I said, beginning itself, if you're not comfortable with any of them, don't apply. There's no force. Assuming you're okay or meeting the criteria of academia, module level completion, right? There also we mentioned who can apply, right? Students who completed till C module can apply. Students who completed till Linux internals can apply. That also will specify. So you go through that, apply. And there'll be a Google sheet which will open, and then you need to just, probably I'll just show you, let us see for any of the open applications. Very simple process, but still, let me run you through, guys. Let us go to this Harman itself. I think it's open, right? Yeah, Monday, 4th July. I think my screen is little slow. Yeah, you can see the same Harman application, whichever you can see there. The entire information is given here about the company URL, then the placement, this thing, right? Everything is given here, eligibility, compensation, everything. And then you can see that there's a deadline status, right? They say apply by Monday, 4th July 10 a.m. That's a deadline to apply. Okay. And then there's an application URL given. So it should be open now because it's open until Monday. Let us click here. And you can see, right, the same information comes in the application also. And then they'll ask you for an information. They'll ask you to, I think, yeah, you can upload a resume, your name, gender, contact number, their academic details, right? College name, university name, because the company will be asking which university graduated, right? MTech, if you are specifically apply, what is the MTech related detail? Okay. Are you fine with terms and conditions, if any? Currently staying in which place, they want to know. Have you completed C++ module? They want to know. What is your registration ID, student registration ID? If selected, you need to join immediately. Are you okay with this, right? If you are a working professional, you can say no, and then you can mention, right? I need a notice period or something, or talk to our placement team, right? Mention the modules you completed, right? You fill all this information and then apply, submit. This is a very simple, straightforward Google sheet, right? Google form. And this will be open till Monday 10 a.m. Right? After they'll close. After that, if you click, it says no, application is closed, right? So you apply. And once you apply, what happens in the process, right? Let me come back. So this is what happens, right? And once you submit that particular thing, right, it reaches our placement team. That's what we do, the internal shortlisting or the filtering that we do. Okay. Where, because even though we say some students who are not eligible will apply, who are from older era pass out, or they will not have meet the academic criteria, they will not have completed the required module, but they'll still apply. So what we know, which since we have all your data, we'll just filter it out and then share it with the company. So what do we call it as a external shortlisting or a company level shortlisting? Okay. So what happens? The company will look into the list, then they'll come back to us. Okay, suppose let us say for Herman there are 50 people. So they say, okay, send all the 50 for the written test or interview, right? We'll send all 50. Or sometimes they say, no, we can't call 50 people. We want to only call 20 people. Okay? Can you share me who is, can you share their performance detail? That's when we share your band, right? Wherever you are there, we'll share it. Then they'll pick the top 20 from there. Then they'll call for the written test and interviews, right? And whomever gets getting the written test shortlisted, because you saw in the mail itself, right? The shortlisted students' names gets published in the group. Okay. And then whomever got shortlisted, they'll get a separate mail saying that when is your interview. Okay, whether it's an online, which tool to use. Sometimes they use what you call your Skype or Zoom, or sometimes they use Google Meet, whatever it is. Everything will be sent it as a separate email. And we'll also create a drive specific WhatsApp group. Let us say now Harman is happening. They'll create a group. All the shortlisted Harman students will be added there. So there'll be discussions going on, right? So once that thing is happening, and what happens, students also share. Let us say today, let us say Afroz is attending interview today, and Pushpanjali's interview is tomorrow, right? He'll come and put in the group, hey guys, this is what they asked. Every discussion happens there. So Pushpanjali, oh, this question I missed it, so I'll prepare and go, right? All those things happen, and finally, offer gets released, right? Offer letter will come. As we said, the first offer you should come, even though you're attending multiple interviews, you need to take and join the first offer. And you go and do a onboarding. As I said, most of the companies ask for immediate onboarding. Of course, you're a working professional, we'll work it out your notice period. Our team will take care. No need to worry. We handle multiple people from the working professional background with the notice period. Companies also understand. We also understand. We'll support you. No worries, right? So as I said, here two scenarios can happen, right? One scenario is like you are not completed the course, but you still got a job. Either it's a fourth month, fifth month, right? You have one more module pending, two more module pending. That's a good scenario, right? So what happens? Immediately you need to join. And what you can do, since you're already having an advantage of evening student, you can continue in the same batch. But what we tell, suppose somebody is an offline student, right? Or an online morning batch student gets placed. What do we do? Okay, you go and join, but they cannot continue the same batch, right? It will be happening in daytime, or they need to come to a center, right? We tell, we'll shift you to the logically corresponding evening batch, like 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. batch, right? So that wherever they left off, they will continue from that particular module. That way, we want to ensure that from our side, there is no gaps with respect to completing the course, okay? Ensuring that you are giving an opportunity to complete the course. That's the scenario number one, where you get placed before the course. So there can be another scenario where we show the timeline, right? Let us say at the end of fifth month or sixth month, you got some opportunities. Let us say somebody attended 5 interviews, 10 interviews. I did not get selected, sir. What to do? Continue preparing, continue applying until that 2-year window, which is shown in the timeline, right? That's what happens. So this is about the process, very simple. Google groups, Google Forms, WhatsApp where you discuss about the preparation notification. Until the offer letter comes, our team will be with you. Until you go and join, we'll ensure you join. As I said, we commit 100% joining rate to the companies. Until, let us say, Manu gets selected, Namita gets selected, you go and sit in the first day in your office. You say, all right, we are done, and we say goodbye, right? And then you continue your course in the evening. Our placement team will say goodbye to you, okay, so that you can continue with your work assigned by your supervisor. So this is what happens as an end-to-end placement process. Okay. Placement eligibility, as I said, somebody asked in the beginning, is there any cutoff or something like that? This is what we officially say in terms of your aggregate and your placement eligibility test and assignment completion. As I said, we are not enforcing it so far, but we may need to shortly because people are taking for granted they're attending interviews, right? Okay. Okay. So I don't know whether it is a matter of pride or it is a matter of shame. Okay. When we say this 2 year unlimited opportunity, right? Can you guess what is the highest number of opportunity a student got? Can you guess record record number of opportunities? What would be the number? Any guesses? When I say opportunity, they attended so many tests or interview. Any guesses? 30. Okay. Okay. Sumesh is right. Okay. One student has got 100 placement opportunity through us. And if you ask me, as a mentor or as a senior person in the organization, it's a matter of shame for me. Okay. We need 100 opportunities to crack one interview. What are you talking? That means what? In the 5 month of course, this guy is simply enjoyed, not even bothered to attend the class and labs, right? If you attend the labs and class, 3, 4, 5 opportunities will definitely crack. That's what bothering us because people are taking us for granted because we have been extremely lenient in the placement side. Right? They're taking us for granted, so we may start tightening here. Okay, so that there is an element of seriousness comes into labs and classes, right? Okay. Anyways, that's an update. And with respect to job roles, as I said, there are a lot of vertical companies are hiring, be it aeronautical, automotive, telecom, IoT, etc. Okay, all the companies are hiring. I think there is a network slow message is coming. I think I'll go off the video for some time, guys, because otherwise my presentation audio will become even slow. I'll come back probably towards the end. Okay, let me go off the video. So what happens is like all the verticals are hiring, right? And then in each of the vertical, different roles are there. For example, you can be developing a tester type of a role. You'll be doing a bug fixing type of a role. You'll be doing an application development of an embedded system or doing a low level porting, etc., etc. Right? So you can see here, this is a row and column combination, I would say, right? The verticals are are your domains, and your horizontals are nothing but the role that you play, right? So some of the important points which I already discussed, placement will start once you complete the level 1 modules, which I already shown in the diagram. Okay. Be regular, that is the most important and only a way for you to come out of this challenge and crack the premium companies or core companies. And as I already mentioned, preparing general aptitude, right? Be it mathematics, logical reasoning, verbal, etc. And also preparing your basic electronics or even working on your final year project, whatever you worked on, or if you're working professional, you have, done your previous project information, you need to be in a position to explain. Okay. And as I said, we have all the vertical companies are hiring for all the horizontal roles which I mentioned. We may not be able to demand, for example, two students will be hired from the same our institute, and they both will be deployed into different projects, right? One will be doing a low-level firmware development, another will be doing application in that, another will be basically working on the testing, right? So we'll not be able to demand. Okay, all we promise is nothing but the core job, but role is not in our hands because even that is not there in the hands of the HR also. It purely depends on the opening that they have in which team. Okay, that much amount of control we may not have. Right? Hope that's clear. Now one very important slide is there. I would like to flash it. Okay, I will give you a couple of minutes. Please go through this text. Then I will come and explain. I'll give you 2 minutes for you to go through. 4 points are there. You can see, especially the text which is mentioned in the red color. Please go through. Okay, I'll go on mute for a minute or so, and then I'll come back. I'll explain anyways, just go through that. Hope you have gone through. I just really want to understand, but sorry, I want to really be sure that you understood this. Can you just type, have you read through? Just confirm whether you read through these 4 points. Just say yes if you've done it. Okay. Atish is telling yes. Okay, more yeses are coming. Darshak, Namita, Ami, Jivita, Pushpanjali, Sai, Arun. Okay. Nagasipa. All right. Okay. So now let me explain one by one. What is the first point? Okay. First point is, as I shown you, and we discussed also to a larger extent, right? All the company related information, be it the salary, be it the location, terms and conditions, right? And then even the mode of interview, mode of working, every information is shared with you, right? Okay. And as I said, if you're not comfortable with any one of the points, you can very well not apply for that particular company. But if you apply for that company and then the company gives an offer, we discussed that you need to accept that first offer and then join. At the time of joining, if you come and tell, no, sir, the salary is less, my uncle is telling the salary is less, no, I don't want to go to travel to another city, etc., even though it was communicated to you, that is not okay. Point number one. Okay. Point number two, the interview schedule, be it the written test, interview, whatever may be that, it will be well communicated to you in advance. In case if you are not able to attend a written test or an interview, you need to let us know at least 24 hours before. Okay. In case if you are not able to attend, especially during pandemic times, we had a lot of challenges. People are falling sick and people testing positive, etc. Right? We tell them at least 24 hours before you need to inform our placements team. How to inform our placements team? I'll shortly share their mobile number and everything, right? You can inform on this, say that. And one more thing that on the recent past way I'm saying, it's little again look very silly if I say this, right? People are telling silly reasons not to join the interview, right? 2 o'clock is the interview, and 1:50 this person will call and say my grandfather has died. Okay, and I tell in Emertxe, after joining Emertxe, I tell grandfather dies 4 times, right? Okay. All of us have got two grandfather, but those grandfather died 4 times. That means they tell silly reasons or they sometimes lie. Okay. So what our placement team is doing, they're even forcing. Okay, somebody or they'll say, I met with an accident, right? We say, show me the medical report, right? So 24 hours you need to inform before you need to inform, and if the placement team demands any documentation for your absence, you need to produce, right? These 2 points, please note, has got a direct impact with the companies. Imagine, right? As I said, we don't allow offer rejection. That's related to point number one, right? Companies will, as I said, 80%, more than 80% of the companies are repeat recruiters because they trust our process. When you do, when they say they don't join, right? They lose the trust on us. Similarly, imagine a company, they shortlisted 10 students and call for the interview, right? Only two of them attend the interview. That also looks very bad on our institute, right? They will not think whether student A or student B. They say, hey, the student from Emertxe did not come. They'll put a blame on us, right? So that's not okay. We don't want our relationship with the placement company to get strained because some student did not behave properly. So that's why we are very strict about this. Point number two, right? Point number three, let us say you get selected, right? After the selection, the companies will ask for a documents from you. It could be your degree certificate, right? Or for example, if you are a working professional, they'll ask you to produce a relieving letter, experience letter, whatever the document. Typically, any company will ask. There is standard documents only, nothing extraordinary. They'll ask, right? Okay. Any type, they ask for any document. If they find you have done anything, any document level issues come up, right? We are not responsible. We 100% trust you. As you saw, so many mails coming in every day about placements. We don't have time to go and verify each and every student's each and every data every day. We'll go mad. We'll not be able to do so many. One day we'll only want to, maybe 3 days we'll be able to do one company, right? We don't have time, right? So please ensure your data is accurately shared with the company. Last one, our mentors will put a lot of effort in basically doing your preparation sessions. and we don't allow any absence there, especially for mock interviews, right? Our students, and by the way, they'll schedule a mock interview, they'll check with you. This is a time mock interview schedule. Can you attend, right? They'll schedule you. In case if you're not able to attend, you need to let our team know. Okay. So in case if you're caught in any of the issues happening, any one of those 4 points, right, you will be blacklisted from the placements. So what do you mean by blacklisting from the placement? You will not be allowed to attend any more placements. You can continue the course, no problem. You can attend the labs, no problem. At certification, you can get no problem. But you will be barred by attending further placements. Okay. We are very strict about it. That's why I'm allowed you time to read and then I'm explaining you. What happens? Some students will get into this issue and then suddenly they will try to meet our placement manager Lokesh. He will not be able to, he will not entertain. And people will try to schedule appointment with me. I won't meet them. Then they bring parents and they will do some students even threaten us by telling some silly reasons, right? We don't budge. Because as I said, we are building a very fair and very transparent system with the companies and students. This behavior will affect our relationship with the companies. That's why we are very strict about this. Okay. Hope this is clear. Blacklisting criteria. I don't want any of you to get into this and suffer later. Okay. 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 Let me. There are some questions coming up. Let me answer them before I get confirmation from all of you. Okay, there's a question from Irshan. He's asking, so if a student is not selected in a company, can she apply in the same company next time? Irshan, that depends on the company, right? Okay, let me try to on my camera. Hopefully my network is okay now. I'm not getting that message. Again, it depends on the company. If the company allows, we don't have any problem. And by the way, in the placement application, I did not show you, some of them it comes up, right? We put a clear note saying that student who applied last time, please apply again. Okay. And sometimes we say ulta, students who applied last time don't apply because the company would have told, right? If the company is allowing, no problem. Some companies will have some cooling period, 3 months, 6 months. After that, you can apply once again. So that way, you can reapply to the same company. That depends on the company. From placement side, we don't have any problem. Okay. Let me go down. Afroz is asking, sir, can people write a test but doesn't want to attend interview without any reason? Is it okay, or do we have to compulsory to attend interview after test? Yes, you have to compulsorily attend the test. So, sorry, interview, provided you are clearing the written test. That's why I'm telling you, before even you apply, you be clear. Once you are inside the process, at any step you cannot withdraw. Okay, somebody say, sir, I attended technical round, I don't want to do HR. No, that's not okay. Okay. You are not allowed to withdraw at any step of the placement process unless otherwise some other offer comes up, which we will take care. You don't need to do anything. As I said, right, 3 offer comes up, first offer you take, second 2 offers you cannot take, right? That we will take care. But at any point in time, you cannot walk away from the process. If you start the process, you end the process. Whether you get selected, not selected, that's a different ballgame, different story. Okay. Hope that's clear. Afroz. Then Irshan is asking, so if a student is not, I think the same company, right? One more point here for working professionals, especially, we understand that your work timings will come in clash with sometimes with the interview or the written test schedule, right? I would say you try to manage it somehow, but in worst case, if you're not able to manage, let us say, you need to appear for a face-to-face interview, but you are working from office and, you're not able to attend due to some reason, right? Sorry, not able to basically, that schedule is not okay. So please tell our placement team, we understand your timeline. We will reschedule it for you. When you're rescheduling also, we'll tell the company saying that this person is a working professional. That's why he's attending the interview at, let us say, evening or early morning, whatever it is. Our placement team will help you. No need to worry. Okay. But tell it in advance, right? Okay. Sachin is asking, if a student got selected in between the course, would have joined immediately. How will you complete the course? I think I already clarified this question, Sachin. You can continue to attend the modules in the evening mode. You guys will not have any problem because already, you are already in the evening batch. For our online students and online regular students and offline students, they will shift to evening batch and then continue in a different batch, of course, which makes logical sense. Let us say you completed 3 modules and then you got a job, right? So tell our team will find out an evening batch where the 4th module is starting. So you go and attend that particular batch. Hope that's clear. Okay, is it mandatory CGP or percentage above 60%, right? Okay, see, again, that's what we tell in our time of admission. Just again, we need to put some, criteria to do that. But I don't know whether you saw that. Let me just show you guys once again. That placement June data, right? The Excel which I shown you. Let me just show you what is the situation in June, right? Let us filter out. So let me filter out one company where they say no era pass out. Okay, means you can be from literally any year. You can be even from my batch, 2001 pass out, right? You can be like that, right? And let us say percentage, let us say 60%, 65%. You can see that majority of the mass for a 60%. You can see the filter. I think it is little slow, my video. Okay. But let us say no percentage criteria. Let us filter that out, right? If you do that itself, right? How many companies are there? If you see, right? Around 38, 40 companies are there out of 100, roughly. That's why I always tell this number, right? Around 40 percentage of them telling that you can be from any era pass out. You can be any percentage, 50, 60, 70, it doesn't matter. You can apply. And you can also ask me, sir, will they pay high? Look at the salary also. Let us filter out that also, because all you guys ask me is a James Bond, right? Ask me like all direction questions. That's why I show data, right? You can see, right? Good number of them are a little over, right? Some of them are ready to pay 6 lakhs, okay? 4.5 lakhs, 5.6, right? 6 lakhs, they're ready to pay, okay? So no worries. You can get, definitely, relatively the opportunity will be less, but see, no, per month you're getting 40 opportunities. What more you want, right? I'll put it across like that. Amit, hope that's clear. Team, please drop the chat to everyone, just not private only, so that all can see. Yeah, that's a good practice, because some of you are sending me a personal message, right? I'm replying, but put it in the group so that, as I said, right? See, this is a beauty. What Afroz is telling, one very important point. See, somebody is asking the question, I'm answering. But what is happening? There are 10 people in the group or 30 people in the group who already had a question, or before they type itself, this gets answered, right? It's just a beauty of, peer-to-peer learning. So please type it in the window. You don't need to send me any secret secret message, right? Okay. Good point, Afros, right? So Sumesh is telling mostly at what time this interview will be conducted. It depends, Sumesh, right? Definitely during the working time only. Okay, it depends. Again, company morning, evening, right? The schedule keeps varying. Yeah. That really depends on the company. There's no specific thing as such I can say, right? So what may be the average duration of the company's complete hiring process? Okay, how long does it take, right, from the time the company starts the process and ends the process, right? You can assume, maximum, let us say 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks. That also I'm telling on the higher side. Mhm. Some companies, will complete them quickly, but majority of them will be completing in 2 weeks time. Okay. What is that other question is coming? Most of the companies are giving low package. Amit, okay, you want less than 60, and you are old batch pass out, you want 10 lakh salary, yeah? Okay, so don't again I'm telling, right? Look at this. The more data I show, the more you jack me. I tell the students like this, right? I don't know where is my this is a diagram. I say you guys are standing against me today like this, right? Robo Rajini guns, right? This is what I say. On a lighter note, right? You guys are standing against me like this today. Okay. Right? Hope you're able to see the picture, right? Everybody's having 20 guns, okay, asking all data, right? Show me this. My point is the doubt is there in your mind. Okay. I can show the data, right? Okay. It's all up to you. They can pay up to 6 lakh. But if you ask me, no era pass out, no percentage criteria, why are you not offering 10 lakh salary, right? Okay. They need to have some merit for your academics also, right? Be happy that you're getting 40 opportunities per month. I would put it like that. Okay. So my point is, doubt is there in your mind, Amit. Please come out of that. Okay, focus on your thing, right? Okay. So you guys are like that today to me. Indiran 2.0, right? What do you call? Guns all around, right? Okay. So every monthly meeting I show them, right? This is what you guys do to me in a meeting, right? Okay. Anyways, on a lighter note, and I'm not discouraging you, I'm just happy that so many questions are coming up. Okay. Not to discourage you. Jayas are 3.0. I will take a what do you call, 3.0 movie, right? 360-degree questions are coming up, right? So don't get into that, right? Don't apply too much into it, right? Are you getting enough opportunities? See, yes, they are cracking, they are getting good jobs. And again, I am telling you, people, do not judge a company by its CTC. I think I repeated multiple times. See that you are getting an opportunity, getting a break. Then you go and jump after 3 years, 5 years. People get a good salary, right? Hope that's clear. Mm. Hey Sandesh, can you scroll the Excel slowly without any filter? Are yaar about time lega. We're already 10 p.m. Month on month, I'll show Excel. Don't worry. You come to July monthly meeting, I'll show July data. There also we apply filter because every month I go through the same, right? Guns around me, we go through the data and review. I'll come back, right? Please attend our monthly meeting, July monthly meeting, July end, not today. June, we finished yesterday, day before. July monthly meeting you attend, I'll show July data, then we'll discuss. Okay, अभी थोड़ा time नहीं. It's almost 9:50 now. Okay. All right. So we're kind of closing in, guys. This is a thing, and I think we discussed all the FAQs. How can you choose new offers, applying for companies, type of companies, internal, external shortlisting, more shortlisting, everything we discussed, right? Then energy certification, as I said, let me just quickly show you. Basically, we are affiliated with, Skill India. So you can see that this is a certificate you get from Skill India, right? Which you will get it from Government of India. Again, we put our institute seal also here. This ACCA mandates that it should be given in a hard copy format. What I do is, like, once you clear by the way, there will be an assessment for you to get the certificate. By the end of the course, you need to apply for it. There will be a nominal certification fee also, as an extra, I think 1,500 or something like that, which you need to apply. And if you don't want, let's say, emergency certificate is good enough, that's fine. Because that certification fee, it's not for us because they ask that fee. So whatever you guys pay, we'll give it to them. And once you clear this fee, the certificate, you can see, right, issued by institution name, signature, etc. So we'll put our emergency seal on top of it. Then we'll take a printout, laminate it, and ship it to your home. Okay. And by the way, we have 100% pass rate in the certification exam. We don't need to worry. If you do our course, it is more than enough to clear this exam. Point number one. Point number two, the assessment exam also will happen online. That too will schedule it on a Saturday because majority of students will be working, right? They may not be able to attend the assessment if it happens on a work day. We'll be scheduling it in weekday, and you need to spend probably half a day. And there'll be a test and there'll be some Viva OC, etc. Don't need to worry, right? Again, there was a challenge here. Where we could not do, at least last, around almost a year, we could not do the certification exam because online assessment embedded, as you know, right? There's a challenge, and then the procedure from NSDC also changed. We have been going back and forth, but thankfully, in 2 weeks back, it got resolved, and about 50 people have applied for the certification. We should be starting sometime soon. Okay, so you can obtain this. So this, you can see, right? This is a level 5 certification we'll be getting, right? It's mentioned here, NSQ of this, National Skill Qualification Framework. You'll get a level 5 certification. Okay, because the level 1, level 2 are more for diplomas and ITIs. Then it goes like ours is an embedded, so it's relatively a high-end certification. Okay, so this is what you'll be getting. All right, I think we are almost come to the end. The do's and don'ts, which I've been discussing from the beginning. You being regularly attending is the key. Okay, do not miss any classes. Do not bunk any classes. Follow what the mentors are telling. It is a system-driven approach. It's not individual, right? We've been doing it for the past 18 plus years, and we are open for your suggestions, right? Please note, we are not perfect. We also know there are so many things we can do better. Our team will be reaching out to you, taking your feedback. In fact, some of the feedback that's given by students have been phenomenal. We incorporated that also, right? We are open. So that way, if you have any issues with respect to your mentor, with respect to your, we're not able to understand, there are ways and means. I'll show you a slide, next slide, how you can seek support. You can seek support. We are there. Apart from your technical support, we have other support also, placement support, student success support, etc. Right? Communicate. That's very important. That's why I appreciated to put the messages in the chat itself, right? Not to send it as a personal message so that others can learn. So please communicate, especially online students. You're all sitting all parts of the country, right? You're not even seeing your face to face. Please ensure you discuss. Continuously improve. It's not necessary that first module itself will be at green zone, right? If you're at low, put your effort continuously. As I said, peers and classmates, if you guys can help out each other, nothing like it, right? What are don'ts? Don't miss any classes, right? Don't assume things. Sometimes some rumor may be floated. I think one thing has come, right? For example, old batch students, these people are not getting placed, right? I heard 2015 people don't get enough opportunities, right? Don't get into that. If you have doubts, ask us, as I showed, right? I'll run an Excel and show you. Right? Excel will not lie, right? And if you want, run graphs, pie graph, bar graph on that, we will run it. No worries, right? Okay. And if you have any issues with the mentor, talk. Don't, get into personal arguments or negative things, right? We are here to encourage, support, motivate, right? Have a positive frame of mind. Okay. These are all some of our things which I already discussed, right? We'll be added to the Google group, and LMS login will be given to you. And everything. In fact, our somebody asked about installing the simulator, right? Forget about installing a simulator. We'll start with installing Linux, because Linux is around which the entire course is being built. So we'll start with Linux installation. That will be, in fact, the first hands-on session, and then then our team will take you a step-by-step approach. This is very important. This particular slide, I think it's up now. Okay, before I talk about this slide, may I request all of you to take a screenshot of this screen and then put yes, then I'll explain. Go ahead, please take a screenshot. It's very important, online students, to know how to reach out to us, right? So take a screenshot, put yes or done, then I will start explaining the support lines. Okay. It is admin underscore fry. Okay, not I think it's admin underscore is there. I think that underscore is, you can see here, right? It is admin underscore fry. It is getting hidden because it's an email, right? Email format. Okay. So I think most of you are done. Let me explain. Fairly straightforward. There are three support lines. One support line which you already know is nothing but our admin team. Asma or Ajay typically responds these days, right? Which is about your fee related, right? Your receipts, first installment, second installment, discounts, whatever, right? Scholarships, etc. Right? So please talk to Asma or Ajay. That's their and by the way, all our mobile numbers, right? Sometimes people get confused. It's a landline because 080 is a Bangalore land, STD code. Not. It's a mobile number. 809 555 is a common thing, and then the last four digit will change, right? Please go ahead and store these phone numbers after this meeting today, so that you can reach out to our team. Okay, and then once you start attending the classes, you'll have so many challenges, right? If, in terms of not able to understand, or there is an issue in submitting assignments, etc., etc. So we have our student affairs, our student success team, which is led by Kavyashree. In fact, Kavyashree was also in our monthly meeting yesterday. She will also meet in the monthly meetings, right? You can send a mail to support@Emertxe, and then that's her phone number, right? And once you start attending the placements, anything related to shortlisting, joining, offer letter, when is my second round, when is my first round, did I clear for my first round or not? You guys will have enormous amount of questions. So please talk to Lokesh from placements at Emertxe, and then that is his phone number, right? So our team is on, right? They will respond, and myself and Mubin work as the backend, right? And then we will ensure that all your queries are responded. And apart from that, I will be meeting you guys once in a month, typically towards the end of the month, right? Last 2 days or 3, we will run through the monthly placement meet where I bring the latest great Taja cover, right? So I showed a June Excel. We'll show July Excel and talk about who and all achieving placement, some major highlights, what's happening. We'll go much more details, right? There's a separate format for that. There also you can submit, in fact, a lot of Q&A happens there also. Okay, so you'll get ample opportunity to interact with mentors, with our admin team, with our student support team, placements team, right? With me, right? We have enough and more windows for you because we know we need to support you well. Then only we can achieve results, right? We'll do our level best, and of course, we're open for your suggestions and improve. And this is our coordinates. Folks who are in Bangalore, if you wanted to drop in and say hi, you're welcome. Our office is near MG Road, near the metro station. And good number of you, I heard in the beginning that you're following us in the social media. Two channels were active, Instagram and LinkedIn. Even though we put certain things in our Google business, etc. Google, I think anyways Google social media is dead, right? So Instagram and LinkedIn were very active. So please do follow, and then anyways, apart from that, you will have WhatsApp groups also, student specific WhatsApp groups. Google group is also there, right? We have enough channels to interact, right? So now let me tell you what is your next step. Let me go off the screen. Let me take a note from my team about your next step. Okay. Uh, Let me get some data. Give me a minute, guys. There's too many windows open. I'm trying to get that info for you. So this is a evening batch. Okay, so this is a note from our team to all of you about your next step. Let me put it in the chat window. All right. So some text that is in your window, please check. This is a note from our team. Orientation system scheduled at 7 p.m., which you are attending now. And your LS module, the Linux systems module, which is the first module, will start from Monday, right? And the link is same. Whatever you use today to join the orientation class, you need to use the same link and join from 7 p.m. Sorry. Class time, yeah, 7 p.m. Right? That is what you need to join. 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Monday to Friday. The Saturday class will be from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Right? Saturday class only that will be from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. And then lab will be from 6 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. Right? So tomorrow no class. Tomorrow, even though it is Saturday, no class since we are just kick starting. You need to log in with the same link on Monday 7 p.m. Okay. Second thing, one more point. Since some of you are not part of the WhatsApp group, let me share your group's WhatsApp link also. Uh, can you tell me whether you joined the WhatsApp group, your batch WhatsApp group? Can you just confirm? Yes, no. No, Sunday, no class. Okay. Sunday, we work for 6 days, right? 6 days it will be there. Majority of them are telling yes, join. In case if you're not joined, I'll also, put this one. Okay. So there's a link to join your WhatsApp of your group. So please do join. Okay. And then once you start practicals, immediately it will not start because mentors take some time. Okay. So then they will get start you with the practicals, right? Labs will be there. All right. So that's what is what my team has to say about your next step. And then And last and most important slide, what we say, welcome, right? So welcome to Emertxe, welcome to the embedded systems course, right? And then um, um, I hope this particular induction class has given you all the information. You saw, right? It's 10 p.m., 3 hours, right? It's a long marathon session, I understand. As I said, you guys make it interesting, huh? It's nothing me, right? For me, it's same slide, okay? Few placement data here and there. You guys make it interesting, make it very interesting and very, sometimes very, very engaging, right? Your questions is what makes me interesting, right? 3 hours, right? So I sincerely hope this has given you enough information. Please get started. Okay. There's a question: is there any installation class tomorrow? Please do share the link of development boards in the WhatsApp group. They will share. Okay. You can ask. You can put the question. They will share. And I don't think anything planned tomorrow. Right. Okay. It will be planned from Monday only. In worst case, if you want to double check, just put a message. They'll reply. Okay. I don't think anything planned tomorrow because it's clearly mentioned. Class will start from Monday 7 p.m. That's what I could. Whatever they given, I copy pasted. But yeah, if there is an ambiguity, just put it in the group. They'll reply. Anyways, today is Friday, right? They'll reply. All right, folks. So thank you very much for your time. Okay, 3 hours sitting is not easy. That one on Friday night. Weekend is starting. I know it says a lot about your commitment and your this thing. So I would like to quickly get a feedback about how did you find today's session. Can you please type in the window? Afroz is telling thank you. Swati is telling thank you, sir. It was so much informative. Really excellent orientation session. Excellent. Hungry. Okay, yeah, I am hungry. Okay. I think today's dinner is dosa. I think for me. A couple of times my family peeped in. What are you doing? Still talking. Thank you, sir. Great. Chapati. Okay, Sumesh is telling chapati. Okay, great. Chapati is also good. Thank you, sir. Awesome, says Hari Krishnan. Thank you, sir. Of course, excellent. Thank you. Great, says Karthik. Thank you, sir. Very good orientation, says Sai Bhavani. Kushal says thank you. Hemant says great. Thank you, sir. Says Arun. Excellent. Really informative, says Atish. Thank you, sir. Says, okay. Very good, sir. Thank you, says Namita. It's running too fast. In case I'm not able to read your names, no, please. Hoping for the best experience. I say Sai. Definitely. Sandesh is telling thank you, sir. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much for all of you joining. Okay. All of you can do wonders, right? I'm pretty sure about that. 100% I am confident you all do very well. Okay, our mentors are there, student support is there, placement is there, right? Take care. Okay, thanks, sir. And he's saying, wish you, okay, happy Jagannath Puja. Oh, yeah, I saw in the news today, Puri Jagannath, right, is there. And, I saw some news. So, best wishes for all of you about Puri Jagannath. I think somebody's from Odisha, right? Dash, right? I think, I don't know, I couldn't complete his name, right? So, best wishes for all of you. So, please take care. You all do very well. Okay. I will see you guys in the next monthly meeting. Apart from that, over to you guys and mentors, right? And I'll see you in the next monthly meeting. Till then, take care, do well, all the very best. Thank you. Good night. Thanks for joining. Bye.